First fight back down to my natural weight in 3 years. Garcia, keep my belt warm. I'm ready. We can run it next. No doubt. Let's have it any day of the week and twice on Sundays. Let's do it next. Come on. Come on. Let's go. What are you saying? What are you saying? Yeah? Garcia next or what? Come on. Let's go.
Man, y'all heard it from the Blonde Bomber, man. Shout out to the fan, man. What's good? How y'all feeling on this good Monday? We had some good boxing over this weekend. We had Conor Benn go out there and go tooth and nail with Regis Prograis. You know, he went on to call out Ryan Garcia, who was recently, you know, on record for saying it was fighting Teofimo next. So you just never know what to expect with these guys. I seen this fight, man. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Conor Benn, man, he got a lot going on, man. Eddie Hearn went off on him. Eddie Hearn went off in that interview about Conor Benn, man. They exposed some things about him. Conor Benn ain't been being honest about. I think the assistance or the help that he was getting from Eddie Hearn. And we all know he went and made that quick bag, which none of us could blame him for, right? If you're going to pay somebody $15 million to fight a guy that was in his last fight on his way out, I mean, I'll go take it too. You know, if I was in the situation Conor Benn was in, I'd take the money too. But again, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. And the way he went about it is, I don't know. I don't respect it. I mean, somebody look out for you when you at your absolute lowest. Least you could do is show love or communicate with that person. You know what I mean? When they ask, you know, a phone call definitely should have been able to be had between the two. And I wonder from this point forward, like where does this leave Conor Benn in terms of with Eddie Hearn, right? He still seems like he took this personal, man. He ain't feeling it. He ain't feeling it from Regis, man. Let me say what's up to the fan. We're going to get to this. There's a lot to talk about, man. We're going to get to all of it. Cal Cooley, bless his family. How you feeling, bro? Mike Kirkland, my brother. How you feeling? Always good to see you. Aunt McQueen, the professor, my dog. What's good, man? Is my audio tripping or not? Let me know if my audio is tripping, y'all, because I don't got my microphone plugged in, as I just realized. But let me know if I'm chopping up. I would have Regis for 15. Me too. Inexperienced and all, right off the couch, fresh off of Jay. You know what I'm saying? And I'd have got right in there. I'd have got my 15 million with Conor. I don't give a damn. I would have fought him too. So look, we ain't mad at Conor Benn for going to get that money. You know, but he on a bit of a roll in terms of like making money because he fought back-to-back fights with Chris Eubank that got him paid good too. So, you know what I'm saying? That's a smart man. It's a smart man to kind of continue to pick up. Shout out to Al Booger, man. I appreciate you, Mike. Yeah, so you know, we get it, man. It's cutthroat business. You got to go get that bag, especially when it's on the table. Ain't no tomorrows in boxing, man. What is here today might not be here tomorrow. So I totally get it. You know, I totally get it, man. Go get that money. But I think it was important to not burn bridges in the process. Get what I'm saying? And I think that's what he could have potentially burned some bridges in the process. Now, if that is the case, the question you ask yourself is, was that 15 million worth you burning a bridge with a guy that was holding you down? And we're going to get into it. I got an IFL TV interview from Eddie Hearn. I got some clips. You know, I got a bunch of clips. I got some stuff from Paulie. Paulie went off, man. You know, Paulie don't bite his tongue, y'all. Shout out to Banks. What's good, homie? Paulie don't bite his tongue at all, man. He went completely off on Conor Benn. They don't got no faith in him, man. He respect him, but he went off on Netflix too, man. I didn't peep that. I don't know how it just went past me, but Netflix had this dude listed as a two-time champion. That's crazy, yo. That's like playing with the minds of the people. They shouldn't even, like, whoever was responsible for that graphic should be fired on the spot, bro. What the hell wrong with y'all? We boxing fans know Conor Benn ain't never been no world champion. And it's crazy because now hearing about it and knowing that they done that, they probably did that to justify the fact that they was paying him championship money to go fight a guy on his way out. And I think they in such a rush to try to prove that they the next best thing in boxing that they leaving some stones unturned. They ain't crossing every T, dotting every I. Like if you're gonna pay Regis Prograis that, think about what a world champion will want to get paid to fight over there, especially if you're gonna make him fight somebody that's of consequence. And that was a little surprising, like with the Zupa lineup and how they've been doing. They've been matching guys up relatively tough. So to see them, see them pay Conor Benn so much to fight a guy. I don't know. I just thought that was stupid. You know what I'm saying? I think Regis, they said made about $3 million to fight. And you had Tyson Fury fight Makhmudov. He got paid a grip to fight. And he looked like stir fry. Hey, man, we're going to talk about it today, man. We're going to talk about all of it. We just heard that today. Netflix. Yeah, they wild, bro. They had him listed as a 2-time champion. That's crazy. That man ain't never been no champ. He run around here parading talking about Ryan, keep my belt warm, man. You lucky, man. Ryan going to break his foot. Ryan going to break that left hook off in your blonde head, bro. Like, I'm not even trying to be funny. Ryan is going to kick your ass, bro. Like, he going to break his foot off in your blonde hair. I'm telling you, that left hook going to be broke off in your hair. Yo, I'm telling you. That shit ain't going to work out for you. You went tooth and nail, life and death, whatever you want to call it, with Regis, and respect to Regis. But we all know, like, he's retiring now. And he had a successful career. That's my guy, win, lose, or draw. But Conor Benn do a lot of selling it about how strong he is, how hard he hit, how he's really a 147 pounder and all this stuff. And now you make the catch weight to 150. They throw you the alley-oop off the backboard and you muffed it, man. You ain't make the alley-oop, bro. Get what I'm saying? You ain't make the alley-oop, bro. You won the fight, but you know it wasn't impressive at all, man. And pride what it do, man. Shout out to Bruce Guys, Big Boy Bray. What's good, fam? He said Ryan for sure knocking that blonde hair straight off. I'm telling you, man, Ryan gonna do him bad, man. We're gonna get into all of it. Ryan is gonna do this man filthy, G. It ain't gonna be nothing pretty either. He might want to refrain from calling Ryan Garcia out. I ain't even trying to be funny. Ryan gonna beat your ass, boy. Playing with Ryan, King Rod mess around, really do something bad to him. Hold on, we gotta get to this though, man. We gotta get to it. Got this video I gotta pull up from Conor Benn, man. We gotta hear how Conor Benn been talking since winning that title, man. You know, I just don't see him beating Ryan, especially after what I just seen. No way, no how. Conor should have been able to KO Regis the way he talked. That's all I'm saying, Banks. And I ain't even a guy that's demanding knockouts, but he been selling us a knockout since Chris Algieri in the eggs, man. Literally, like since Chris Algieri and then the egg situation came in, he been selling us knockouts ever since, bro. We ain't getting them. He ain't showing. And not only that, it's one thing like, all right, cool, you can't knock everybody out, but your performances ain't looking up to par neither, bro. I'm not impressed. Yeah, your last 3-4 fights or so, maybe 5. I ain't been impressed with none of that, man. You know what I mean? Damn, it's like, man, I ain't impressed, bro. Hold on, let me pull up Conor Benn. Conor Benn talking about cuddling Eddie Hearn. Mind George was good with an Eddie Hearn, man. He tore into Conor Benn ass, man. I'm gonna tell you, natural welterweight been fighting heavy because of PDs. Hey, Bruce Guys, man, I trust your word, OG. You know, and I think it might be something to it. I'm just sorry. It might be something to it. Might be something to it. You know what I'm saying, bro? Buddy ass be on bullshit. Let me see. Let's see. Let's get to this though, man. I'm telling you, Bruce Gas, man. The thing is, how to live and let, man. But the problem, real quick before we get into this, the problem, it just looked funny because you had a viral, like, highlight reel type of knockout over Chris Algieri them years ago. Remember how his leg turned in when he knocked him out? It was bad. Yo, he did Chris Algieri worse than Errol Spence did him, right? Way worse. I know it was after, but he did him filthy. Even Chris Algieri felt like something was funny with that. You get what I'm saying? Chris Algieri felt like it was something funny with it, and he had an issue. You know what I'm saying? He took issue with it. Now you see, he hasn't had a knockout since they mentioned the egg situation. Like he haven't came close to getting a knockout. And I ain't saying you gotta knock people out, but if that was your calling card, that was the reason why you was the destroyer. But you're not even doing that no more. And it's after they caught you, quote unquote, with some tainted eggs that they said the WBC ended up making that excuse up for you. Get what I'm saying? He says he could. Shout out to Ali, locked and loaded. It was good with it, man. Promoting dudes, he did shit. Yeah, I guess it's just one of those isolated incidents. I don't see everybody else following suit, locked and loaded. I think they trying so hard to make a mark, but I think they, in the process, they possibly overpaid a guy that ain't never won a world title. Like, that shit is ridiculous to me. And I guess maybe they ain't basing it off that. Maybe they basing what they gave Conor Benn off of how many, they had a lot of people in them fights, in them 2 fights with him and Chris Eubank. It was a lot of people out there. So maybe that's what they paid him based off that. But I don't see that model or that shit being sustainable, bro. You're not going, if you can pay a non-champion that much money because he fought in front of a lot of people, where he from, like, just imagine how much somebody else gonna want to get paid for crossing the pond or something like that. Shout out to Cal, man. Appreciate you, bro. You know it. Netflix is nasty. Yeah, making him a 2-time champion, bro. Ran through a little boy. I don't think so. I don't think he did. I really don't. I think Regis put up a really good fight. I think Jojo Diaz gave Regis Prograis more trouble than Conor Benn did. I really do. We're gonna get into the fight some more, but let's get into this interview real quick.
This is the Ring's Mike Coppinger. You're here with Conor Benn, who just fought at your lowest weight in 4 years.
Bro, look like, man, what's up? What? Trying to let him live, but bro, what's up with him? I don't know, man. I told you don't wear that blonde. You see what I'm saying? It could have went really bad for him, y'all. It could have went real bad for. I told him leave that blonde shit alone. Leave that to the people. Leave that to them other people, bro. He out here playing with his hair, going out here in this fight. Regis Prograis, you going life and death. Regis Prograis just retired on you. You don't get to flex. You don't get to talk crazy. You didn't stop him. I ain't saying you were supposed to, but the way you talk, I need to see more than that. That's all. Like, I keep the same energy, right? We do it with everybody else that talk like this. He keep talking about how good he looked and how he was going to be super strong. And, you know what I mean? He went full-blown Cisco/Golden Lord on us. And then he goes out there and puts on one of the worst performances of his career, bro. That wasn't it. That shit wasn't it, bro. You bleeding over both eyes. Nah, man, this shit looking crazy, bro. You out here talking about keep your belt warm, bro. Ryan Garcia left hook is going to break off in your jaw. Ryan Garcia going to hurt this dude, bro. And Ryan Garcia going to smoke him if they fight, man. I'm telling you right here, right now. Ain't no way. Nah, hell nah. You ain't got that. Your punches don't got that zing on them. And I don't know what the problem is, but Bruce Gas, man, I think you might be on to something. Look, it looked funny. Fought at them heavier weights. You ain't been fighting at the weight class you've been at. I get it about you going to make money, but your performances shouldn't lack just because you're going to grab and make some money. Your performances look crazy. You over here looking like an athletic, beat-up Golden Lord. You get what I'm saying? From the UK at that. Somebody, you went full-blown Cisco. You wilding. Like, and that's like fresh paint. Like, bro did his head the night before the fight. You really lean into this blonde shit. That's why Regis almost got you. See, because you out here playing. Your eyes was cut up. You're supposed to go in there and fight, bro. You out here playing in your hair and shit. I told you, focusing on the wrong shit, bro. About to get smoked out there, Regis. Out here playing. Shout out to Mike Ron. What's good with it, bro? 503 in the building. What's good, my guy? You feeling Emmanuel in the building? He said that's that peekaboo blonde. I mean, Chris Algieri, not Regis. Nah, but look, I don't think you get the point I'm making. I'm not saying Chris Algieri is Regis, but Chris Algieri ain't no hoe. He went the distance with Manny. Manny didn't knock him out. Remember, don't never forget. Manny Pacquiao knocked him down a bunch of times, but he didn't knock him out. And this dude brutally knocks him out and has the audacity to get wrapped up in some PD scandal with some tainted eggs. And then your career was in flames for a second. Eddie Hearn took literally every shot aimed at you. He took all the bullets for you. And this is how you repaid him. That's why we're going to get into this, man. But Regis, I don't think he ran through Regis. I ain't saying he had to knock him out. Look, Regis pretty sturdy. He got a good chin. He's never been stopped, but Jojo Diaz was able to hurt him consistently, man. I just didn't see that from Conor. I seen Conor shake him up a bit, but that's the best you could do, man. That's not impressive. Like, I mean this with all due respect to Regis Prograis, because he's an overachiever, very successful career, 2-time world champion. He picked up boxing pretty late in the game, and look what he did with it, you know? So this is no shot at Regis, but let's be clear about this. Let's be straight up. They was throwing you an alley-oop off the backboard with this fight. They gave you a hefty bag, 15 million. That's what they said. That's what they report. And I ain't in your account, but that's what they report. 15 million to fight Regis Prograis, who since let y'all know this was his last fight. He's now retiring as a 2-time world champion, never been stopped. You know what I mean? He lost to some of the best. Him losing to you is not no flex. That's more of a flex for Regis. And I understand ain't no moral victories because you beat him, but you was unimpressive. You were unimpressive. They gave you an opportunity to get a knockout. You didn't come close to doing it. And you keep talking about your power. All I could think about is that tainted eggs and how you was crying and inactive, and Eddie Hearn was still trying to get you fights with no license. Like, all of this stuff is coming to mind. And you got Zuffa throwing you an alley-oop literally with the money and the opponent. They went against, to me, they did two things, I think, out of the norm. They overpaid. If you can name me anybody else that you could consider a non-champion that you feel like was paid the way Conor was to fight a guy in Regis Prograis that's on the way out, you get what I'm saying? It's like they overpaid, and they didn't match you up with a guy that was on your level, because if he was age-wise, you get beat. A prime Regis Prograis beat your ass. He stops you. A prime Regis Prograis would have stopped Conor Benn. Man, he would have stopped him. So I respect Conor, his grind. I know he worked hard, but I'm telling you, it's going to be hard to get away from that egg situation. And I'm a guy that like to let people, look, you make mistakes. I allow people to move on from their mistakes, but the problem is your performances are lacking as well as the power. It can't be both, and it can't be after a PED scandal. That's the same thing that people be saying with Alicia Baumgartner. With the jury is still out. Like, bro, can't all this punching power that you was showing, all this destroyer shit, all this aggression and, knockout power, and where is it at? This was not a prime Regis, and I mean this respectfully. It's lesser guys knocking them down, and I know this personally. You get in there and supposed to be all trained, and I ain't giving him no excuses about the 2 fights up north of 60. That's what he chose to do. You came back down talking about how strong you was gonna be, how you was gonna look, how you was just gonna get right at it and steamroll Regis. You didn't even do that. You didn't steamroll shit. You had the right opponent in front of you to attempt to do that, but you still couldn't do it. That tells me something, man. That's a little concerning for you talking about keeping your belt warm. Ryan Garcia, I'm telling y'all, after what I just seen from Ryan Garcia, bro, from Conor Benn, I think Ryan Garcia gonna break his left hook off into your jaw somewhere or into your head, to that blonde hair. I don't see it, bro. The belt warm my ass. Let's play this clip because he was talking. This Mike Coppinger, I believe he asked him about Eddie Hearn here. We're gonna talk about it. Shout out to BBL. I don't think he a media hype job. I'm gonna tell you why, and then I'm gonna play the video. The reason why I don't feel like he a media hype job is because I seen his first, how his first 10 fights look, and then his next 8 to 10 to 12 fights or so, and you could see drastic improvement in Conor Benn. And I think the only way you improve in the ways that he improved is if you put the work in. But like I said, and what Bruce Gass said earlier is kind of in my head with him fighting at the heavier weight classes. And I don't want to put the PED stuff on him. I'm not one to do that. But since then, it's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence that, you ain't look the same. You get me? Like, think about it. Like, you put Chris Eubank on a rehydration clause and he looked better than you in the first fight. You get me? You get me? Man, you didn't look good. Shout out to Knuckles saying, especially since he can't get cats out of there. You can't get dudes out of there. They taking your best punch and they punching you in your mouth. Regis was punching you in your mouth. Some of them slow. I mean, I don't want to say so. Some of them left hands from the older Rougarou was landing on you, bro. He was landing them left hands with the T-Rex arms that you said he got. Yeah, he was landing some of them joints. He was landing some. He was landing some of them joints on you. He was landing, he was cracking you, man. He gave you a difficult time. You did not look good. You were not impressive. And look, y'all know I give people a lot of grace. I want to give Conor Benn his just due by saying, well, you went out there and you fought. You didn't fight. You didn't fight at the weight class in some time, right? So maybe it took some adjusting, but no, man, you were stepping on the scale, flexing in your damn punk panties, talking about how you should have just made 147. Like you literally brag about being a welterweight and you ain't been there in years. And then you go with a catch weight of 150. They made it so you didn't really have to kill yourself. And then you still go out there and you look subpar, man. It's what Tank say? Mediocre. Like it was mediocre, man. That shit was mid, man. I wasn't impressed. I was more impressed with Regis. And I hate to say it. He on his way out. We knew Regis had some of his best days was behind him. And anytime you see Regis in the ring, you gonna rock with him because he gonna give you what he got on the night. He ain't nothing about Regis that's a sucker. But that if it was ever a time for you to get a knockout in this stretch that you've been on, it was that night. And you didn't. They put you on a Netflix stage. Netflix basically put their credibility. I don't even know how to put it. Did they put their credibility on the line by calling this dude a two-time champion and he never held a belt in his life? And you go out there and perform like stir fried. Hey, Zuffa paid you $15 million, bro. You on Netflix, Zuffa, you wilding. Talking about alley-oops, bro. They gave you an alley-oop off the backboard. They let you shoot a couple free throws, wide open layups. I mean, you just came up short on every account. The only place you probably ain't come up short that night was in your bank account. Yeah, you won, but did you really? Because that win they ain't convincing nobody. Ryan Garcia about to have a field day. Them left hooks are about to have a field day. Ryan Garcia about to have his championship run extended off of you if y'all fight next. Man, I promise you. And I'm not backing off that. He gonna beat his ass, bro. Ain't no way. Yeah, you don't got it. Ryan Garcia, athleticism alone, that left hook, the confidence he got alone is gonna be enough to beat you. It's gonna be enough. He ain't gonna need nothing else. And he got a pretty decent right hand, too. The weight cut could have hurt him, but not the way he was flexing. Yeah, the little punk panty standing on the scale like I should have made 147. Like, nah, bro, you probably should have been making 147 the last few fights, but you wanted to be up there at 60, rehydration claused out, playing with Chris Eubank. So you know what? You know why I ain't gonna give him the weight cut thing? Because I seen what he did to Chris Eubank, and nobody, well, some of us gave it to Chris, but he celebrated that win like it ain't have nothing to do with him fighting a cook fighter. Chris Eubank was a dead man walking in that second fight. And I truly believe he gave everything he had in the first one where he actually won the more entertaining fight. That second one was something different. Conor don't fight like that. And that was another bad performance that he won. But you only won because you had a guy that could barely stand up. Chris Eubank looked bad, man. His rehydration looked crazy. Like he looked bad. He looked like he never rehydrated. And that's just me personally. He just looked real skinny legs. He was cut up, but he looked skinny. He looked like malnourished. And Chris Eubank just didn't look good. And again, for the second fight, you was thrown the alley. You know what I'm saying? Well, it's the third fight now, but the 2 fights in a row, you was thrown the alley. The second time, you couldn't capitalize. You get what I'm saying? Like you be on straight bullshit when you out here getting these opportunities. And I don't mean to come off too hard on Conor. Yo, I want to give him his just due, but again, we just holding him to the standard that he speak on. He always, I can do this, I'll do that. I'm knocking this out. I'm gonna go right at him. We're gonna have a go. You had a go, man. That shit wasn't impressive. You know what I'm saying? He outworks work Regis, but we expect that. It's like, bro, that's it. You about 7-8 years younger than Regis, bro, and you out here going tooth and nail. I don't want to hear And you talking about fighting at the championship level, bro. I'm with Paulie. He might not never be a world champion. He might not never be a world champion. I don't know. And I'm not I ain't slighting him or none of that, but it's going to be really, really hard for this man to be a world champion. Shout out to my brother Mike Kirkland for always holding it down in the super chat. He said, respect the Regis for the career he had. That's a fact, man. 2-time world champion Mike Kirkland. I know somebody that know Regis personally. He picked up boxing pretty late. I think he was 16, 17. Dude was working like 2 jobs, bro. Mike Kirkland, he got a backstory that us and every man in here that grind for anything they got could respect. Like, you would look at Regis and be like, dang, you really picked up boxing that late. He was working 2 jobs. And let's call it what it is. Regis told you a long time ago, for the people that followed his career, he wasn't no boxer. He just liked to fight. He was an in-shape street fighter. And I know if he probably heard me say it wouldn't be disrespectful. I'm not saying he couldn't box, but that wasn't his game. Regis was going in there trying to beat you up and end fights. And we know it. You know what I'm saying? Regis wasn't trying to run rounds. He was trying to win the fight and get you out of there. So shout out to the Rougarou. Shout out to New Orleans. The only 2-time world champion from New Orleans. He should be respected for that. You know what I mean? He should definitely be respected for that. Only 2-time world champion from New Orleans. Only one in the history of the sport. That's saying something, bro. And look how late he picked up the sport. But somebody will look at his record or look at his losses and they'll gloss over that. But I ain't gonna let the day go without me giving Regis his undeniable just due. He went out there and he gave us what he had on the night. It wasn't enough to beat Conor Benn, but it was enough to, I think, continue to gain the respect from the people that have been rocking with him, right? That's Regis showed us why we always rock with him, because I think a lot of us felt like if this was the prime version of Regis Prograis, I think we all know the outcome is much different. You know, he had him bleeding. I know they probably clash heads once or twice, but at the end of the day, you had a really tough time with this dude. Prime Regis probably stops you. You get what I'm saying? Prime Regis probably stops you, and probably with a left hand. You know what I'm saying? So credit to Regis, successful career. I know he can hang his head high. He got some real family behind him. His wife, she a real one. He gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? He made his money and he got out with his faculties. You know what I'm saying? Got a nice family, a beautiful family. He's straight, man. I like Regis, man. I like his come up and I like his backstory. Shout out to Mike Kirkland. Big shout out to my guy Dante for the quarter and then Cash App, man. At 25 in the Cash App. Much love. Shout out to my dog, man. He said, keep grinding, bro. Shout out to you, bro. Appreciate the love, my guy. Appreciate the love. Shout out to Dante and Mike Kirkland, man. Regis used to whoop ass in illegal back room fights in high school. I'm telling you, man, Regis was nice, man. He always gave you a good fight. Always was fun to watch. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to him. But back to Conor Benn. Let's get to this video, though. Let's hear what he had to say about Edward.
10-round dominant victory over Regis Prograis. Very tough Regis Prograis. How would you do your performance here?
Mike.
I mean, I ain't watched it back, but he was tougher than I thought, to be honest. I thought I closed the show early. I'm so happy I've done my weight well. You know, dropping back down to welterweight isn't easy. Right. But ultimately, a lot of people said I couldn't do it. I done it. You know, I've been walking around at 175 for the past 3 years. You know, fighting up at middleweight, fighting bigger guys. It presented different challenges tonight. And, you know, I'm glad I overcome them with relative ease.
Yeah, look, it's not easy when you're burning through muscle, right? You're a muscular guy. You just fought Chris Eubank Jr. twice last year at 160 pounds. Like you said, up to 175. How grueling was this weight cut?
Yeah, listen, it ain't easy. It's not easy, but we do it. We stay disciplined. You know, I have a great chef. I have a great performance team. And we all manage it. But ultimately, you know, I got my weight down well. Done 10 rounds easy. My face may disagree, but the fight was, you know, it was a shutout. You know, I believe I won every round, and excited to get that world title next.
See, and I just got to stop him. Like, look, you always got to credit somebody for the win. At the end of the day, you did go out there and win. A win is a win, but not for you. Not at this point, bro. We expect a little bit more because you've been overselling and under-delivering for the past 3 to 4, maybe even 5 fights, some would say. Yeah, you getting wins, but how are you winning? It's not just about the win. Think about something, bro. He got all this criticism for these boxers, right? The Devin Haney's, the Shakur Stevensons, they shouldn't be in boxing. They're just runners. They this and that. But the lad, like, you've been selling us knockout artists and you happen to win fights on points. So I think it might be safe to say that you ain't the knockout guy that you think you are. And you damn sure ain't the boxer that a Devin Haney or Shakur is. So you see my issue? And you go so hard on somebody for style because you think you're so entertaining, but you going out there and you got this crash out style, but it's not it. Like you're not. I think Pitbull has a more entertaining style than he does at this point. Pitbull gonna test your chin, bro. He gonna test your chin. He gonna test your chin, and he's small as hell. He gonna be undersized, and he's still gonna crack. He hit you, he gonna crack you. You hitting people with your best shit, and they standing upright. They right there. You might stiffen the legs a little bit, but if that's the most you could have did to Regis that was on his way out, bro, I ain't overly impressed. So you, in my opinion, respectfully, you're not ready for no title. You're not ready for no world title. You're not winning a world title based on what? Based on what? You're not winning a world title based on what I just saying. And even with Ryan Garcia, I don't think so. Maybe if you catch Ryan Garcia undisciplined and not focused, but I think with that title, man, he got more of an incentive to go harder than what he's been going in recent years. So we'll see.
And speaking of your face, I don't think there were many from punches. Maybe a few from punches, but there was a lot of clash of heads. Do you think any of those headbutts were intentional?
He's a tricky customer. He knows what he's doing in there. He's former two-time world champion. But a fight is a fight. I'm not going to sit here and moan about it. He hit me low a couple of times, head clashes. It's a fight. I'm not going to sit here and moan about it. I didn't moan to the ref and go, heads. Like so many fighters do. A fight's a fight. You're in there. Sometimes you get wet.
Look, we can see the big contusion swelling under your right eye, and obviously there's stitches over both of your eyes. How many stitches in each eye?
Enough.
Enough?
Yeah. That's more painful than the fight.
I bet.
Yeah, don't like stitches. Don't like needles.
Yeah, does anybody?
Weird people.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I'm not weird, though.
A lot of weird people in boxing, so...
Well, I'm definitely not saying that.
You ain't weird, but you sitting up there with that blonde. That damn blonde, dirty blonde.
But look, you got the win.
Yep.
And look, I thought he maybe won one rounds, maybe a shutout. Who knows? I thought people were being a little harsh to you on social media. I know that's how social media is.
Social media is the minority. You got to remember, most fighters wouldn't be able to drop down to 150 after or 147 competing middleweight. Ultimately, I've done that. A lot of people say, "Oh, he can't do it. He's going to be weight drained." I weren't weight drained at all. The fight was easy, apart from the head clashes.
No weight drain. He's saying it. Nope, no weight cut. Once they said, I'm going to run with it. Yeah, it wasn't the weight cut, right? So what was it? And then, they already set the table by trying to make it seem like what he did is the impossible. Look, you went up there to chase a bag with Chris Eubank. You told the world you didn't care what weight it was at. You lied about that. You told the world that you didn't need a rehydration cause. You lied about that. You went up there. You needed not one, but 2 rehydration causes. Then you came back down. They gave you a catchweight so you ain't have to kill yourself making the full 147, right? They let you come in at 150. You get what I'm saying? I understand that you had to drop a lot of weight and stuff for those fights, but that was on you. You went and chased the bag. Now you dropped down. You said it was you wasn't weight drained. So your performance should have been better, in my opinion. You get what I'm saying? You had the right kind of dance partner. Zuffa went against what they normally do. They overpaid you and didn't give you an opponent that matched what they was paying you, right? They gave you an opportunity to shine, get this knockout that you've been chasing for the last few years, and you ain't had since Chris Algieri. That's not me being too hard on you, but again, when I hear this dude do these interviews and you shitting on pure boxers because they don't get all the knockouts, and then now you got to be this is last 4 to 5 fights you've been having to box people and you ain't getting no knockouts, and then you not that good of a boxer, respectfully, like, I have a problem with it. You know what I'm saying? You've been selling us this KO artist and I'm not seeing it. Shout out to Forever G's. What's good? What he said? Another, I don't like needles with a body full of tattoos, bro. Bingo, red flag, Al Boog. I'm sorry, man. I'm just going to call it what it is, man. He looked crazy.
Great fight. I took on a 2-time former world champion in Regis as my first fight back in 4 years at 150. So now we just keep the momentum going. I keep the weight down and get me in them 8-ounce gloves.
Yeah, right. You get the 8-ounce gloves when you fight at 147.
Yeah.
You had 10-ounce gloves tonight. How big of a difference does that make for someone like you who is a big puncher, has fast hands?
I just like punching people, Mike. You know, so like big. I mean, I like punching people. It don't make no. It don't make no difference to me. Do I put people to sleep in eights? Yeah, they're a lot smaller, a lot more dangerous, a lot more compact. But ultimately, credit to Regis. He's a tough guy, and it's a shame my face is what it is because it was an easy night's work for me.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't like no middleweights.
Yeah, look, he's a very tough.
That shit didn't look that easy, bro. Like, I can't tell you what it was. Just because you won all the rounds and most of the rounds don't mean it was easy, bro. Regis stood tall, bro. He fought back. You didn't just, you could keep trying to reduce all the swelling that you had to the clash of heads. Nah, he was catchy with them lefts. Regis was getting his in too. Don't act like he wasn't. Yeah, he was getting the rounds and you outworked him and you won the fight. The right man won and all that stuff is true. But impressed? No, I'm not. Are you championship ready? No, I don't think so. I don't believe so. I don't think you beat no champion at 147. I'm not even sure if you beat a Lewis Crocker. And I'm being dead serious. I just don't see it. I don't. Teach was good with it, bro. So, yeah, he couldn't take out Pistol P. Pretty game and tough, though, but he couldn't take him out neither, bro. They've been throwing him alleys for a little while, Al Booger, and each time he ain't slam dunk, not one of them. But he'll keep talking about 147. Boy, you're going to go to the full 147, compete for a title for the first time in your career and get smoked. I'm telling you. Yeah, he was catching them, bro. He was getting clipped and caught. Like, you could try to say, it was all head buzz. No, it wasn't. Regis was laying hands on you a little bit. He was getting them. He was getting his in. You know what I mean? Regis fought back like a real one. Let's keep going, man. This dude just, I get it. He won. Son of God, my dog was good.
He's never been stopped. 2-time champion, and he actually told our Lewis Hart afterward that he's retired now. Any thoughts on his retirement and wishes for him?
I'm happy for him. I'm happy he's retired. I think he's 37 or 36 years old. He's 2-time world champion. He's done what he's had to do in the game of boxing, and now he can sit back and live life. But I'm still on my quest to getting world titles. People always want to criticise me. People always want to say, but this and but that, but this and that. Ultimately, just outboxed the Southpaw for 10 rounds. With relative ease and not competing at the weight for 4 years. So I do this. I'm about this game.
Afterward, Ryan Garcia, who you've been, chirping with for a while now, called you out, says he wants you next. Of course, he's going to be fighting in July.
Of course he calls me out now. Of course he calls me out now. Where you been the past 2 years?
Right.
Where you been? And that's
respectfully, it wouldn't have mattered if he called you out in the last couple years. Ain't you been fighting everywhere but 147? He ain't been at 47 for 2 years. So what do you mean? You get what I'm saying? That's what it is. Ryan Garcia has not been at 147 pounds for 2 years, I don't believe yet. So he here now. He got a belt. You asking the wrong questions. You should be obliging him. He got a belt and he offering it up on a platter. And I don't think you're going to get it. I think Eddie Hearn wants nothing more than to see you compete for a world title and win one. But even in the weak welterweight division, I don't know. I don't see it. Get what I'm saying? Right, KJ fighting Devin a couple years ago. So what the hell he talking about? Where were you at 2 years ago? I know where you wasn't at 2 years ago. Y'all wasn't in the same weight class. He calling you out now. Let's keep it a buck. He calling you out because y'all in the same weight class. You got a name in the sport. You fought in front of some big crowds, and you just look like some stir fry. He feel like them left hooks gonna have a feast on you. You know what I'm saying? And I think so too. I think he gonna run his left hook into your jaw to the point where it's gonna be stuck there. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have a knuckle print with Ryan left hands and his knuckles in your shit by the time the fight over.
It's cowardly behaviour. Of course he wants it. Oh, what, you want the smoke now? You want to be vocal now? Coward.
So why are you saying that he's being vocal now?
Well, because I've just gone 10 rounds with Regis, probably. Ultimately, his performance with Barrios weren't entertaining, weren't exciting.
What?
If he wants to go there, where you been when I've been vocal?
Bro, he dropped Barrios in the first, second round. That fight wasn't boring. Like Ryan it wasn't bad. He beat Barrios up. That performance was a good performance by Ryan. He looked better than you did in his last fight. And I think he fought a more lively Barrios than you did Regis. Right? Barrios ain't about to retire. Regis is retiring after this fight. You get what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't exciting. Like, nah, bro. If he wants to go there, see, that's your problem, bro. You don't know how to give people their credit, bro. Brian looked better than you in his last fight. You can say what you want.
Egregious, probably. You know, ultimately his performance with Barrios weren't entertaining, weren't exciting. You know, so if he wants to go there, where you been when I've been vocal? You been scared? You know, so it's like, cool, let's run it next. No problem. I'll go in July. Let's go in July.
Even with the cuts, not going to be an issue?
I've got a hyperbaric chamber at home, so that'll heal up lively. And I'll be straight to it.
You ain't fighting in no damn July. See, this is the part that pisses me off. I ain't trying to overdo it, but stop. Because in another one, you said September. Now you saying July. You not fighting, talking about no damn hyperbaric chamber, bro. You got cuts, bro. You looking a little Quasimodo-ish in the face, bro. You looking like the Rock dude off Fantastic. What's the Rock dude name off Fantastic Four? He looking like that thing, man. I'm telling you. Look at that. Look at the swelling on his cheek right there. That should look crazy. Talk about, come on, let's do it. That's your problem now. You're going to go out there in July. Your shit's still going to be, your cut's still going to be hell, and Ryan going to open them joints right back up. And you're going to be in the, he going to be doing the presser with Mike Coppinger after a loss talking about it was the cuts. I should have waited till September. Yeah, that dog. He look like the thing, bro. Tell me he don't look like the thing with blonde hair. Yes, he do. If the thing was close to being human, like close, like it would look like this. He looked like the thing for real, bro. He got the same skin tone as the thing, bro. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Same chamber he prepped his eggs in. Yeah, that's what probably tainted the eggs, the hyperbaric chamber. Talk about, no, you know Mike Coppinger asked you a real question, bro. And that's why I don't be taking him all the way serious. He talked too much like a fighter sometimes. Like, be realistic, bro. Toxic Avenger is crazy. So is it me or he don't look like, he ain't looking real thingish right now with blonde? He is, bro. He looking like some type of Pokemon with blonde hair or something, like Geodude. Is that the thing? He like the Rock Pokemon because his face on swole. Like Regis left his shit on swole. Headbutt said, nah, your shit lumped up out there. You can blame Regis for them headbutts all you want, bro. But you the one that said you gonna go out there and go have a go. You gonna go right at it. Hey, locked and loaded. Hey, Mike, you see it? I know you see it. I've been thinking about it for days. I'm like, yo, what does he look like? Man, got that damn. He got the wet blind.
Let's go in July.
Honest.
Even with the cuts, not going to be.
Hey, there you go. There you go.
That's you.
I've got a hyperbaric chamber at home, so that'll heal up lively. And I'll be straight to it.
You have it at home. That's like some Dragon Ball Z stuff.
I invest in my health.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm ready to go. So seriously, July, if he wants it, we can run it.
And, you know, what was it like to share a card with Tyson Fury? Obviously, he's a legend. He's one of the biggest stars in the game. What was the experience like?
It's a pleasure. It's a blessing to be amongst boxing royalty. You know, I've always been a fan of Fury. I've been a fan of the British heavyweights that have flown the flag for British boxing. You know, AJ was there ringside today. It's a blessing to be amongst British fighters that fly the flag and represent the country and go on and achieve lineal champion, AJ champion. It's a blessing.
And third straight fight with the ring. But third straight fight here at Tottenham Stadium, but first fight on Netflix. I mean, you were fighting in front of the world. What was that like too?
It's a blessing. God's opened doors for me that I couldn't open myself. And God's shut the doors that no man can shut. I'm here by God's favour. There's no other reason. I mean, within a year, 3 stadium shows, signed mega deals, multi-million deals. God's blessed me.
All right, so if it's not Ryan Garcia next, who else do you want? Obviously, 147 is loaded now. You have Rolly Romero, you have Devin Haney. It's a pretty stacked division.
I like Haney, I like Rolly, I like all them. But the WBC belt is the belt my heart is set on.
And look, he's been talking about the WBC belt for some time, but when asked on a different occasion about Devin, he downplayed Devin. He said, fight him for what? Like, he was saying he wouldn't even fight him. It wouldn't be worth it. Now he's saying something different. You definitely, just like Devin said in that tweet, did you see the tweet Devin put out? He says, Ben better stay away or something like that, bro. He will box the rest of that blonde up out your head. I guarantee you that. That the worst thing you could do is get in the ring with a boxer, with one of the best boxers in the game, and you've been shitting on him, and now you've been having to come out here and win these fights by decision, but you ain't nowhere near the kind of boxer that you will be in there with. Devin Haney a feast on you, bro. Your only way, you will have to get lucky and knock him out. That's your only way. It's your only way. Only way. And after seeing how Regis took, you ain't knocking that dad gonna box circles around. He gonna punch the blonde out your head, bro. Shout out to Damon. Was good with it, man. Said Eddie badmouthed this dude on Cigar Talk. Yeah, he went in. I got a clip from Eddie. We're gonna get into that. I got one from Paulie too. 47 got loaded quick when Boots left. Right. Yeah, right. Mike Kirkland, you feel me? Boots left. They got active down there at 47.
WBC ordered that fight.
I think he gone.
I'd happily take that mandatory shot. I am number one in position for that world title shot for the WBC. And that belt for me is the most prestigious belt in boxing. It's the belt my dad had, and it's the belt that has my name written on it. So I hope he keeps it warm for me because I'm coming for it.
And you're with Zuffa Boxing now. Obviously made a lot of waves.
It was a one-fight deal.
One-fight deal. But do you plan to be with Zuffa Boxing potentially going forward?
They're in the driving seat, so I guess we'll see. They've looked after me. They've looked after my team. They've been a blessing to work with. They've exposed me to a completely different audience. And ultimately, it's a new chapter in my career. It's about growing. It's about more eyes. And it's about giving people value for money and entertainment on the biggest platforms out there.
Yeah, I mean, what is that like? You have Keith Connolly behind you managing career. Now you have Dana White, Nick Khan. You have Turkey Al-Sheikh, of course. You feeling the support?
I've got some heavy people behind me, and they fully invested in me, which is a blessing. You see what Nick Khan and Dana White have done with the UFC. They ain't no rookie to this, So for me, it's a blessing to have, the most influential people in boxing behind me, backing me, investing in me, to give the public value for money and sheer entertainment and excitement for as long as there is a Ben in boxing.
And look, I know you didn't want to get into it really going into the fight. I know it was a big distraction potentially.
It wasn't.
Okay, it wasn't. But so Eddie Hearn, where does he stand right now with you?
If he was to walk into the changing room right now, I'd give him a cuddle. I don't have no ill feelings towards him, towards Matchroom. They can say what they want. Ultimately, my kids are sweet.
We're gonna back that up just a few seconds.
What they want, ultimately.
What did you just say?
Towards Matchroom,
bro.
I don't have no ill feelings.
Hold on, bro.
Potentially,
it wasn't.
Okay, it wasn't. But so Eddie Hearn, where does he stand right now with you?
If he was to walk into the changing room right now, I'd give him a cuddle.
Yeah, I heard it. I heard it, man. You too tough to be talking about cuddling, bro. See what blonde hair do? See, you done dyed your hair blonde and a Cisco coming right up out you. You acting crazy, yo. Eddie Hearn don't want to cuddle you. You definitely ain't gonna want to cuddle him after I play this interview from him, how he went in. Oh, Eddie Hearn served you up. You talking about cuddling, see? Told you, leave your hair alone. Do unnecessary shit with your hair. Now you out here talking about cuddling men in locker rooms and shit after fights with cuts and swelling going. I don't know. That shit is outrageous. Bro, you look Eddie Hearn like 6'1" or something. You lucky if Eddie Hearn don't go in there in the locker room, put hands on you, bro. Conor Benn only like 5'6". Conor Benn only like 5'6", you know what I'm saying? Yeah, not with no man, though. He talking about he gonna cuddle Eddie. Eddie might mess around and slam you, bro. And they said he in shape a little bit, bro. You know what I'm saying? Cuddle or hug. Yeah, that's UK slang. Gotta be. You will give him a cuddle. And Mike Coppinger is going to sit there with a straight face. Man, it would have been epic if he'd have just been like, man, cuddle, pause. Mike Coppinger would have told him to pause and it broke. It
wasn't, but so Eddie Hearn, where does he stand right now with you?
If he was to walk into the changing room right now, I'd give him a cuddle. I don't have no ill feelings towards him, towards Matchroom. They can say what they want. Ultimately, my kids are sweet. And we've got an unborn child on the way. So my family's looked after. That's my job. If you can't understand that, then that's on you. But ultimately, this is what I do this for. and it's a complete blessing to be in the position that I'm in. All that matters to me is my family, because you see, when this is all said and done, and I ain't no hot topic no more, and who's going to be there? Who's going to pay my bills? Who's gonna pay for my kids to go to private school and give my kids the best education, give them the best holidays, give them the nicer, finer things in life?
Fair enough.
The same way everyone else does.
Good luck with the one on the way. Any parting message?
To who?
To the fans.
To the fans, just
to the haters, to everyone.
Forget the haters.
To the fans.
It's the minority. But just blessed. I'm blessed. And, you know, I'll keep doing my best to give everybody what they want to see and give people value for money. That's what I'm here for. I ain't here for a long time. I'm here for a good time.
All right. Well, thank you, Conor. Congratulations again, and best of luck going forward.
Pleasure. Thank you.
We get it. We get it. Get your bread. Get to that bag, man. Big Dre, what's good with this? Big Drop Dre in the building. What's good, homie? Man, I don't know, man. Conor, I don't know. Eddie don't feel the same, G. Paulie definitely don't feel the same, man. You giving Eddie Hearn a cuddle, man. Wait till you hear that IFL interview I'm about to play in a minute. Conor, you ain't heard what Eddie and Paulie been? They been going in on you, boy. They ain't feeling you. I'm saying they ain't feeling you. Okay, hey, I'll tell you one thing though. Conor Benn is blessed, man. He's you know, back to back big fights, meaningful fights where he got paid. You know what I mean? So. And for him to be a non-champion making the money that he made in his last few fights, well played, man. I got much respect for it, and I don't dislike him as a fighter. I'm just giving him, you know, a little bit of a hard time because he's been overselling just a bit, man. He been going in about what he'll do and how it's going to look. And I've just been watching for a while, and I ain't seeing it. And then I've been giving him a break on the egg situation, and it's like he ain't making a good case for himself because he don't look like he got the same explosiveness to his punches that he had at 47.
Always a pleasure to be on with you.
Pleasure to have you with us, man.
So Paulie, you know, this podcast Paulie right here. Podcast Paulie don't pull no punches. Yeah, that's a lot of P's. Podcast Paulie don't pull no punches, bro. He come up here, he say whatever he feel, man. He let it be known of what he think about Conor Benn.
To get your insight on that, I've no doubt that you will have said things that maybe we didn't pick up on ourselves throughout the course of the fight. What did you make of the performance from Tyson Fury?
Listen, he's been off for a little while. I think you have to give, you have to take it for what it is. It's not a prime Tyson Fury. It's a Fury that probably wanted to get some work and needed to get some work, and he got some rust off. Listen, getting the rust off fight is always a preliminary thing. I think if the comeback continues, he's probably a little bit sharper in a second fight and a third fight. I think he needed to have this kind of fight before going into a Joshua fight because, Joshua also, let's think about it, also had a shake of the rust off fight against Jake Paul, right? So you kind of need these kind of performances. You need these kind of fights, even if they're not, even if they're more spectacles than they are tough fights. They do shake the rust out. They do get you through a training camp, and they do work your reflexes and your technical skills.
What did you make of the back and forth at the end? Obviously, when Tyson Fury's on the microphone calling Anthony Joshua in, and Joshua refused to join him.
I think AJ's just a serious guy, so he doesn't care so much about the fanfare. Tyson, on the other hand, likes to give a little stick. He likes to give a little bit of banter. That's more so his personality. Both guys have these kind of personalities. But listen, they're both stars. They've both been heavyweight champions. It's a fight that British boxing wants, and it's a fight, honestly, that even on the world stage, even if it's not at the highest level anymore, will still interest people. People talk about who's the biggest star in boxing. Listen. Anthony Joshua can still fill out arenas and stadiums. Tyson Fury has constantly filled out arenas and stadiums as well. How many fights in a row is this for Tyson Fury where he's fought in a stadium? So these two are major stars, big stars. No matter what's on the line, at the end of the day, it's a boxing match that both boxing fans and casuals will enjoy.
Paulie, if you was Anthony Joshua right now, would you go straight into that Tyson Fury fight? We know that Anthony Joshua's come off that victory over Jake Paul, but since then, the tragedies that he'd been through out in Nigeria, the mental, the psychological stuff that he's got to deal with there. There was talk of him boxing Deontay Wilder next to get rid of that ring rust, see if he can get over that psychological damage, if you like. Now we've seen Fury perform like that. What would your advice be to him? Where would you go if you was him?
That's a good question, Spencer. It's a lot to consider if you're Anthony Joshua because he's got both of these fights on the table, really. Fury already fought Wilder 3 times, so that chapter's kind of done, right? But with Wilder getting a win and he didn't look so great himself, Joshua has. His name's been swirling around these two guys for so long that now they're both on the table, right? So it's like, which one do you take? Which one is less risky? Which one is more risky? It's a lot to think about, because also, like you said, Joshua also going through a little bit of that tragedy situation with his friends and whatnot, and you don't know. Every person deals with that a little bit differently. So we don't know where his head is at in that regard as well, and it's hard to predict that, because again, every individual goes through something like that a little bit differently, very differently. So in reality, it's one of those things where, what do you choose for Anthony Joshua? My guess is good as yours, guys. I mean, I don't even know what you think, but there's two fights on the table for Joshua right now. All of a sudden, we were sort of writing the obituary on the careers of these three guys, and now all of a sudden they're all coming off of wins, and they're all sort of being mentioned among one another again.
Paul, in my gut.
I mean, good point, but look. If they don't pull the trigger on fighting Deontay Wilder now, they'll never fight him. Shout out to TL. Peace to Queen Lisa. How you feeling today? They'll never pull the trigger on that fight. It just seemed like he likes some type of, I don't know, willingness to want to get in the ring, whether it's ego, pride, I don't know. I refuse to think a man that was a gold medalist, 2-time unified champion, scared. But I think he just lacks the confidence, it seems like, when it comes to Wilder. And that's just my personal opinion. Do I think he's scared? I have to say no. I have to repeat that. No, I do not think so. But it's just it's a confidence thing, or it seems like Wilder might make him a bit uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? And then people, shout out to Thrill Hill, Samuel, what it do, man? Then you got people saying, Joshua, he don't talk a lot of trash, man. I don't want to hear that shit. He be talking crazy. He was talking crazy to Daniel Dubois. He was talking about smashing a chair across his face, all type of shit. Then Wilder walk into your face, scream, you just stand there and looking. You getting called out by Fury, you just standing there and looking, or sticking your finger up. Like, gotta give people a little more than that. But I will give him some grace, because he did go through a traumatic experience with that fatal car crash. It was fatal. 2 people lost their lives. So who knows where his head is all the way at. But aside from that, you at the fights. You said that's why you was at the fights. You obviously watching the fight for a reason. So again, you knew what you were in for. You knew the people was gonna pan the camera to you at the Tyson Fury one. Tyson Fury called you out all types of ways. You know what I mean? You said your promoter said you would knock Wilder out in 3 rounds or less. You got 2 fights on the table. Gonna have to take one of them if you're coming back trying to get in the mix. I think they'll still watch it. I don't think they freaks for it no more, Cal, but I think people will still watch it because it's still Wilder and it's still Joshua. But I don't think they listen. I don't think they into it. Tracy Hill said, Ben, AJ knows Fury and Wilder games, they come. Yeah, he know. Now, and then look, let's talk about it. He might be willing to get in there if he get in there. I'm sorry, bro. It's just hard to look at. I don't know everything, but if he get in there with Fury and not Wilder, it's just the writing on the wall, bro. You just didn't really want to fight that man. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna say you scared. I'm gonna just say you just didn't want to fight that man. You get me? Yeah. Facts. Yeah, he got a lot of work to do. Now he right there for a title shot, though. Shout out to Joseph. He right there for a title shot. He is right there, but will he win is the question. Will he win the title? Hell, with just having the title shot or fighting for one, will you win it? So let's keep hearing, man. Paulie went in, man. Paulie did not bite his tongue, but Tyson Fury, he looking like a guy that went to war with Wilder 3 times and got dropped, 4 times by Wilder. He looked like a guy that ate right hands from one of the hardest punchers in the heavyweight division. That's what he looked like. He don't look like a prime Tyson Fury no more. Right now, oddly enough, AJ might be closer to his prime than any of the 3. That's the crazy part. So let's see how he play his cards on his get back journey. He said he was watching a fight with plans to get in there with Fury. They talking there, run through Wilder and make it happen. Okay, take your pick. I'll watch either one. That's what I'm saying. Why would you go to the fight? You know what I'm saying? Why would you go to the fight? So it's tough to say he don't deserve to be there. He's still an undefeated guy. I mean, no, he ain't. He lost once. So, he ain't undefeated. I get what you're saying. Feel like he ain't earned his spot. He been hovering around there for a while. Maybe that's why the title shots have eluded him for so long. But it looked like the time is now. He might get an opportunity now.
It's telling me after
the little bit we picked up from AJ afterwards, he said, "Look, I went through something about 4 months ago. I've got to, there's more real things happening in my life." I think he's half in, half out. I think he's seriously considering whether or not he wants to carry on boxing, because if there was ever a time for him to that would jerk him into it to buy, would be then. I think he's not decided. We can all get excited and giddy. I think
Johnny,
he's not decided he wants to stay in this game.
It's a good point, but I'll say this: you got a good point, and you know what? I think from that regard, he wants to be a serious guy because he realizes there's much more important things in life than this. So from that regard, I agree with you. But on the other end, he's at the fight. He's at the fight.
Yeah.
If he didn't want to partake, he wouldn't have showed up to the fight at all. So
Facts.
while I view him as a serious person, and he doesn't partake in the banter and so on and so forth, and maybe even more so now because of the tragedy that he's gone through, and he's sort of in the serious mindset, and I don't knock that at all. He's also at the fight, so in that regard, he also knows that he's probably promoting the fight or creating.
But he still couldn't commit. But he went.
Go ahead.
But he went all the way there to the fight, saw the fight, got called out, and still refused to commit to say, "I want some of this." I think he's more out than in.
I think it's because I think it's because he's in more negotiations with Deontay Wilder. That's what I truly believe it is. And after Deontay Wilder's
two options. You're right, Spencer. He's got both options, so he's not going to commit to one or the other. He's not going to show his cards right now. I think AJ is going to keep his cards very close to his chest right now because he's got some options.
Paulie, did you catch the Conor Benn fight? Did you catch the co-main event?
I did. You know what, guys? I'm done. I'm done with it. This guy's horrible. This guy's terrible. Netflix wants to be taken seriously as a boxing network. Then they write on the stat sheet on your TV screen, this guy's a two-time world champion. This guy's not only never been a one-time world champion, he will never be a world champion. Okay, now I understand the fanaticism about Ben, and I don't mind the entertainment side of it. That he's okay. He's not a bad fighter. Until you start mentioning him in world championships. I had a problem with Mario Barrios being such a bad world champion. And he's probably the worst world champion I ever saw in my life. But I'll say this. He came around in a weak welterweight division and won a legitimate welterweight title.
Hey, the Paulie rants are epic. I don't give a damn, bro. I don't give a damn. Paulie do not bite his tongue. Look how he just casually threw in there that Mario Barrios is probably the worst champion he ever seen in his life. This man be cooking shit. He gonna cook Conor. He'll never. Not only was he a world champion, he'll never be a world champion. Like he doubled it down.
I think he's seriously considering whether or not he wants to carry on boxing, because if there was ever a time for him that would jerk him into it to buy, would be then. I think he's not decided. We can all get excited and giddy. I think he's not decided he wants to stay in this game.
It's a good point, but I'll say this: you got a good point, and you know what? I think from that regard, he wants to be a serious guy because he realizes there's much more important things in life than this. So from that regard, I agree with you. But on the other end, he's at the fight. He's at the fight. If he didn't want to partake, he wouldn't have showed up to the fight at all. So while I view him as a serious person, and he doesn't partake in the banter and so on and so forth, and maybe even more so now because of the tragedy that he's gone through, and he's sort of in the serious mindset, and I don't knock that at all. He's also at the fight, so in that regard, he also knows that he's probably promoting the fight or creating.
But he still couldn't commit. But he went.
Go ahead.
But he went all the way there to the fight, saw the fight, got called out, and still refused to commit to say, "I want some of this." I think he's more out than in.
I think it's because he's in more negotiations with Deontay Wilder. That's what I truly believe it is. And after Deontay Wilder's
two options. You're right, Spencer. He's got both options, so he's not going to commit to one or the other. He's not going to show his cards right now. I think AJ is going to keep his cards very close to his chest right now because he's got some options.
Paulie, did you catch the Conor Benn fight? Did you catch the co-main event?
I did. You know what, guys? I'm done. I'm done with it. This guy's horrible. This guy's terrible. Netflix wants to be taken seriously as a boxing network. Then they write on the stat sheet on your TV screen, this guy's a two-time world champion. This guy's not only never been a one-time world champion, he will never be a world champion. Okay, now I understand the fanaticism about Ben, and I don't mind the entertainment side of it. That he's okay. He's not a bad fighter. Until you start mentioning him in world championships. I had a problem with Mario Barrios being such a bad world champion, and he's probably the worst world champion I ever saw in my life. But I'll say this. He came around in a weak welterweight division and won a legitimate welterweight title. This guy has never been a world champion, Conor Benn. Now, and is okay with Netflix promoting him as a two-time world champion. That is absolutely disgraceful, shameless. Netflix themselves, who want to be taken seriously as a boxing network, should spit on their own face for putting on such a clown
Spit on their own face is crazy.
Casuals watch this stuff and then we'll come in there. Then he looks like absolute dog doo-doo in the fight. So then
Kurt was good.
The casuals are gonna be like,
Follow
this
the
is what
money,
a boxing
John.
world champion looks like. You know, it's not like he looked good even against a completely shot Regis Prograis. That is absolutely disgraceful. And then, you know what's more shameful is that Conor Benn is okay with all this. I don't mind Ben getting promoted. He's a son of a legend. He's okay. He's not a terrible fighter. He's okay. As far as championship level goes, he's not there, but he's okay to watch. I don't mind that. But with him being okay as well to be promoted as this ex-world champion, that in and of itself shows you the fantasy that he's living. Because I myself, if I was never a world champion, you promoted me as a world champion, I wouldn't feel right. I wouldn't feel right about that. I would feel like I need to go earn that and earn my place among those kind of conversations, among those kind of fighters, no matter how much fanfare I have. This is still boxing. That was a disgraceful. I saw that stat. I almost vomited in my own mouth.
Paulie, when did
Yeah, he said, I saw that stat. I almost vomited in my own mouth. Look, as far as people saying Paulie be jealous, I don't want to put it on females. I mean, I think any male or female could be jealous, but y'all got to think, man. That's not I think you going about it the wrong way. The two particular fighters that Paulie Malignaggi is talking about is Conor Benn and Mario Barrios. Paulie was a two-time world champion. He had a successful career and he made some good money on the way out. You know what I'm saying? He made it a lot farther than what a lot of guys do. Mario Barrios, he just now became a champion. He's not a two-time world champion. Conor Benn, although he's made a ton of money, I guess you could say in boxing, right? Still never been a world champion. So yeah, he might got the money, but he ain't gonna have the respect. I think you could look at Paulie regardless of what, and you could respect his career. You know what I'm saying? He was a boxer, wasn't a guy with a lot of punching power, but he still managed to be a two-time world champion, and he didn't duck smoke. Fought guys no matter how dangerous they was. So my respect for Paulie is high. You know what I'm saying? In terms of what he was able to do, you can't beat everybody. You beat who you beat, but Paulie, for being jealous, he had a more successful career in terms of like accomplishing things than these guys, and it's not always just about money. You know what I mean? I don't think he's sitting around being jealous. I think Paulie is just a straight shooter. He don't bite his tongue. I ain't gonna call him a hater. He could be, tough with his critiques, and you're not always gonna agree. But I don't think everybody's sitting around hating and being jealous. You know what I'm saying? I think Paulie's fought in front of big crowds before. You know what I mean? I was there at the Barclays when he fought Broner. That shit was packed out there. Like Paulie made his money and people know who he is, and he earned his respect because he fought the fights. I don't think he's jealous of no Chris Eubank. I know no Conor Benn or
honestly,
Mario
we've been in the studio and we don't have
before the Conor Benn fight.
Okay.
They showed a stat on the television screen with Conor Benn's like career and accolades. Basically, he's a son of Nigel Benn and so on and so forth. The top one was two-time world champion. Okay, two-time, not even one time. They made it twice. I guess making it up once wasn't enough for them. They had to make it up that he did it twice.
They must have put Regis Prograis' resume in the wrong column, mate. That's what they must have done. They kind of got that right.
You know what? I hope for their sake, I hope you are right. I want you to be right. I want you to be right.
I love this guy.
He doesn't mess about, does he? He doesn't mess about.
See, that's what we need, David.
Go on.
And guys, I don't mind watching Conor Benn. Like I don't mind him getting the fanfare. He's an okay fighter. Just don't start mentioning him at world-class levels. Then you start crossing the line. Because he's not your Jake Paul either. So it's not like I'm throwing him all the way on the other side. I'm not doing that. I'm being a very honest person here. He's an okay fighter. Okay, but don't start mentioning him with these world-class situations and world-class fighters. He talks about Shakur Stevenson and all this other stuff. His name belongs nowhere near those guys, okay? For the fanfare, okay, I get it. People start talking about him. He's got a lot of popularity, and I understand that's going to happen. But
Conor don't be beat. I mean, Paulie don't be
with
beat.
these guys. All of a sudden, right away, we start seeing tweets and Instagrams about this Shakur Stevenson fight and everybody. Shakur Stevenson would beat him with one hand. I would beat him right now. I would beat him, okay? Watch my fight next month on Bare Knuckle. Make up your own minds. BKB, May 16th in Manchester.
I'll be there, baby. I'll be there. I'm watching you, man. I'll be watching that.
Conor Benn's invited too if he wants a piece afterwards.
I'm just
Yeah, straight like that. Paulie ain't having it, man. Look, I don't process things the same way everybody else do. Again, as a successful man, comfortable in his own skin, I never seen Paulie as the kind of just hate for no reason. He's very opinionated like most people are, but unlike most people that have an opinion, like he actually done it. He's had success in boxing. He's made the money. He's fought the fights. He's fought the names. He's done it. He has no reason to be jealous per se, but he's very, like, if you listen to what he's saying, he's not spot on. He didn't just completely throw Conor under the bus. He said he's an okay fighter. He's a good fighter. He's not bad to watch. He understands people fanfare, but he said, yo, when you start mentioning him in a conversation with these world champions, he's like, yo, that's disrespectful. You trying to sell me something that he's not. His name don't belong nowhere near those guys. And that's based off what he just seen in his most recent fight and the 2 fights before that. Do any of those fights that you've seen him in beat any of these championship, world-class, world-level guys? And now you can take out the fact that he's not even getting rid of dudes and knocking them out no more. So again, is he wrong? He's not wrong. It might be harsh, and you could disagree with him, but what he's saying is very much on point. He's speaking very honestly from the heart. This dude is not this world champion level talent that they're trying to sell him as. Think about what he said. He's calling Netflix out for putting up on the graphic that he was a 2-time world champion. The man never held a belt. This is coming from a 2-time world champion. So I think if it's anybody that could feel some type of way without hating, it's Paulie. Why would he hate when he actually was a 2-time world champion? Netflix didn't have to put up a fake graphic. Nobody that promoted him had to put up a fake graphic saying that was him because he actually fits the bill. He's actually accomplished and made money. So all that jealousy stuff, that's like, I don't know, man. That's I don't see it as that. He always been a straight shooter. You're not going to agree with everything everybody says, but if he's not speaking facts, just say he ain't speaking facts. If he ain't speaking logically or realistically, say it. He ain't really out of bounds. He ain't say Conor Benn is garbage. He just said he's not on that world class, world level. He's not a world. He said he'll never win a world title. Said this dude horrible for basically the way he carrying about as if he's ever been a champion. He don't even feel no type of way that Netflix called him a 2-time world champion. Because there's no way he don't know. You know what I'm saying? So that's all Paulie just calling out the BS. If y'all want to take yourself serious as a boxing network, you can't do shit like this because you spitting in the faces of the public. You're calling a guy who's never held a world title a 2-time world champion. That's a spit in the faces of the real boxing fans. That's all. You get what I'm saying? So I don't think Paulie is hating per se. I just think he's speaking what he believes is his truth. We feel free to disagree, but I think he was very much on point with what he's saying. You know what I mean? Gave Conor Benn credit for being entertaining and okay to watch. He's a solid fighter, a good fighter, but just not at that championship level that they trying to put him on, that Netflix painted him as. You know what I'm saying? That's
just
crazy.
on the Netflix broadcast.
Marcus, my dog, what's good with it, bro? Yeah, you feeling?
Did you see that rhythm? He doesn't even know why he's jumping up and down. He's
You
jumping up
stupid,
and
Kyle.
down.
Definitely
He's
recyclable.
sleeping in with jabs. He doesn't even know what he's doing and why he's doing it. He's just doing it. You watch the guy fight, right? I mean, you saw the same fight.
Yes.
Watching, right?
Paul,
Does he know what he's doing?
I want to get your opinion.
Does he know why he's doing it?
I want to get your opinion on this because he's just on the broadcast right now and he's called out Ryan Garcia, the WBC champion. Is that
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And I get it. You know what? You know what? I don't even mind him being in a world title fight. He's never going to win a world title, but you know what? He's not bad where he shouldn't be in a title fight. I've said it myself. He will challenge for titles, I think. His popularity also pushes him. He's not terrible, but he's also not of the championship level. He's clearly a rung below. Ryan beats him, maybe even stops him. But I mean, I don't know. Whatever.
I'm gonna address the comment one time. I'm gonna address you once and once only. I keep saying it because it's true. It don't matter what Ben made in his last fight. They report things all the time that's not always accurate. The truth is, me or you don't know, or none of us in here really know what Ben pulled in for his last fight. You don't know that. We just could assume it based on what they reported. It would be safe to assume that you would be correct, and that's okay. But again, with the point that you're missing, let me make this make sense for you. After a certain point, money is money. Paulie wasn't a guy that was struggling to make it. He wasn't a dude struggling to get by. People knew his name. He had his own little style, everything. Magic Man, like he fought for world championships. He's made the money. That's all I'm telling you. All that, oh, he's jealous because Ben made more money. That's whole shit to me. Like, come on, man. Money is money. He's made money. bro. At a certain point, Paulie is not a guy that is reported for struggling financially and none of that. We would just have to assume that, but I don't think that's the case. The dude always keep a job. He's made his money and he retired on his own terms. Yeah, he took some beatings on the way out, but it's boxing. He turned down no smoke. I'm going to respect Paulie Malignaggi in his career more than I respect a lot of these guys because he had to get it out the mud. He was a boxer that didn't get a lot of knockouts. So hell yeah, I got a lot of respect for him. Not a hype job. He didn't have a father that was looked at as a legend in the sport. He don't have a last name that he could just live off. And I'm not saying that just for Ben. Ben put his work in and I respect it, right? But Paulie really got that shit out the mud. And what he's telling you is it's a disgrace to hold this guy as a champion. Never mind the money. I only brought up the money to make it make sense. Bro, they both made money in the sport. Paulie is no, it's not a guy that's struggling financially. I would seriously doubt that. So it's like, all his criticism is not about being jealous. It's not about hating. It's an honest observation, just like we got one. That's like me. Everything you say, are you hating? When you give an opinion, are you hating all the time? That go for anybody in this chat that's saying Paulie is hating for no reason. When you give your opinion, are you hating for no reason? Or are you being honest? He just told you, and you should know if you followed the career of Paulie, he's not a known hater. He calls it how he see it. He gives controversial takes because he don't bite his tongue. That's why I respect it. So yeah, this dude got it out the mud as a pure fucking boxer, and I think he's inclined to speak his truth. Yeah, he think it's a slap in the face to the boxing fans in the world of boxing to call a guy a champion that has never held a title in his career. Period. He's not saying nothing out of line, bro. Nothing. He gave the man credit for being a good fighter. He just like, yo, stop trying to make it, stop selling us that he's at this world level and we know he not. Stop doing that. That's what he's saying. We all should be frustrated a bit that they played with us by even announcing him as a two-time world champion. That's disgusting. He never held a belt. And he better hope that Ryan come unprepared if he get the fight next because he going to get beat. Shout out to my homie Marcus, man. Always showing love, always supporting the grind with the 10-piece and the cash app. With the gift. Shout out to Marcus. Appreciate the love, man. Shout out to everybody that continues to support the grind. Hit the like button. Let's keep rolling. So that's all I'm saying, man. If I thought he was a hater, I'll call him a hater. The thing is, you can say you disagree with what he said, but you can't say he far off. Have they been selling that Conor Benn is the world at a world level? He's supposed to be this knockout artist. When the last time you seen a knockout? Since the age, you ain't seen a knockout. You ain't seen a performance that even will remotely put him on the world stage. But because of the welterweight division is weak and it's all about money, if you don't understand it's about money, which is why he got the last opportunity, because to me, he fought in back-to-back crowds, big crowds. They feel like he can sell some tickets, right? Over there in the UK, why not put Conor Benn over there where he sells tickets at, right? You get what I'm saying? It's a follow the money. Now you put Ryan, who's a ticket seller, in there with a Conor Benn who's from the UK, got a name over there. They might can make some money. So they don't care if Conor Benn really at world level or not. They care if they can make money off him. And with all this defense and or attacking of Paulie just for his opinion, just think about that. The next time you call a person a hater for their opinion, a person that had a whole successful career in the sport of boxing, ask yourself the next time a person that ain't never did what Paulie did, are you a hater the next time you give a harsh opinion or be a tough critic? Are you a hater? Are you jealous? Right? Because all these dudes made money that none of us made. We ain't made millions of dollars to fight nobody, right? So when we call Paulie a hater and saying this and that, are we haters? Are we jealous of him because he made more money than us? You see how fucking stupid that sound? The man just got an opinion. Say, y'all, I don't rock with what he's saying he way off, but to try to make Paulie Malignaggi a hater for giving an opinion on Barrios and Conor Benn is wild. Everybody had a negative opinion about Barrios struggling to hang on to his title. This is coming from a guy that know what it's like to fight for a world title, right? And actually win one. So why is what he's saying so bad, right? He just keeping it a buck, bro. This dude ain't look good in these fights, bro. He struggled to win the title. And he damn sure struggled to help hold on to it. And now you got a guy that's even less deserving of it in Ryan Garcia. Is anybody lining up to complain about Ryan Garcia being catapulted into 2 title opportunities, one against Rolly? You get what I'm saying? Then he lost and then got another opportunity after that. Nobody's mad at that, right? So, man, Paulie is speaking some real, bro. Paulie speaking some real. They got to stop selling us that he But again, is he wrong about what he's saying, Big Dre? Because you put this in all caps. You wanted me to say it. Is he wrong about what he's saying? Is he wrong? Is Conor Benn on world level to you? Is he a world champ? Is he world championship material? We're not talking about all his other opinions that you don't agree. Just in this particular instance, when people are typing, oh, he's a hater, he's this, he's that. Is he off base about saying Mario Barrios and how he's looked with his championship run? Right? We all question that shit. Right? How did he get his title? He held on to it long enough, then they catapulted Ryan Garcia in there. This dude ain't been at no world level. That's all he really saying. I'm talking about this interview, not no other time. What he's saying about these two fighters is spot on. And he still said that the dude is good. He's solid. He's a solid fighter. You know what I'm saying? I think Turkey was giving 15 mil to fight Reese. Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. Some guys rock with their guy no matter what. Yeah, I feel it. I feel it. The 15 mil is on Zuffa Boxing, not Netflix. Nah, but that's not the money is not what I'm putting on Netflix. What I'm putting on Netflix is Netflix was the one that had him listed as a 2-time world champion. 2-time world champion and not even been once. So Zuffa paid him. Netflix promoted him as a 2-time world champion. That's where they went wrong. I think that's nasty work. So in this particular instance, I'm just speaking to, I think Paulie was spot on. I think Mario Barrios has had a very shaky championship run. I think we all seen that, right? Hanging on the titles, back-to-back draws all the way until he lost to Ryan. I think we all know and we seen that Conor Benn ain't been on the world level, right? I don't think none of us really got him beating the champions. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe y'all got Conor Benn beating Ryan Garcia if they do fight. I don't got him beating him. I don't got him beating a Devin Haney. And none of the other guys, really. Lewis Crocker is a toss-up, all we know. That's just my opinion, but shit is deeper than hating. I just want people to think further than just somebody, because think about how the world would be if every time somebody gave an opinion or their honest assessment of what they see and what they think, oh, you're just a hater, you're just jealous. We'd be going at it all day. You know what I'm saying? I just think right now, in this particular instance, I don't detect a hint of jealousy. Like, and it'd be other men pocket watching, right? Notice Paulie ain't say shit about no money and none of that. So it don't matter that he made X amount of money and Paulie made this. It don't matter. At the end of the day, he's not on the level that they're promoting him as. And that's what Paulie's point is. So it's like people listen to content to agree or disagree rather than I'm hearing how people think about Paulie, but is he speaking truth? Is it what he's saying off base? Is he on point with what he's saying? I don't care about agree or disagree. I'm not that type of person anyway, but he making sense is all I'm saying. And these dudes got to step their game up. Netflix should have never promoted him as a 2-time world champion. That's nasty work.
It blows my mind.
Listen, how's the training going? Are you fit? You healthy? You feeling good?
It's going good. Yeah, I'm fit. I'm healthy. I'm doing some pro box work tonight.
Excellent.
Here in Atlantic City. And I was enjoying the Fury show and the Fury card. Like I said, I had to swallow some of my own vomit when I saw that stat on the TV. But I'm good now. I'm good. I'm enjoying you guys. I'm enjoying the banter with you guys. I'm enjoying talking about it. And May 16th will be a fun night for me. I look forward to
was good with it. Joe was good with it.
Title.
Do you know what we love about you, Paulie? You've only got to poke the bear. Once you poke the bear, mate, he's gone. That's it. Paulie Malignaggi says it as he sees it. I respect it.
Come on, you guys know I'm right. Maybe you guys,
I respect
maybe you
it,
don't want to
bro.
poke the bear as much as I do, but you know I'm not wrong. You know I'm not wrong.
Listen, let me just say this: you was talking a lot of sense.
Yes.
See, I like it. For what it's worth, they said it at the end. You was talking a lot of sense. That's all I'm saying, bro. I ain't listen. I don't listen to takes just to agree or disagree, but I know when somebody giving their honest opinion, I don't got to agree with everything he said, but in that particular instance, he was spot on about what we've been seeing. Conor Benn, they've been overselling and under delivering for some years now. He's making the money, so his name is thrusted in the limelight. You know what I'm saying? He just got in there with Regis. Regis fought tooth and nail with Regis to me. Yeah, you won the rounds, but you wasn't impressive in my opinion. You wasn't as dominant as you would like people to believe that you was. Now you did what you were supposed to do and get the win, but going into a Ryan Garcia fight, that's not going to be good for you. I think you'll get beat. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. I think you'll get beat going into that fight. But let's keep rolling because we got more. We got plenty more. It's over 50 people in the building. Hit the like button, everybody. Sub to the channel. Let's keep rolling as y'all climb on in here, man. He looks sick as hell making 150. I'm telling you, 147, he might get slapped by Ryan. Ryan Garcia, left hook going to be jammed in his face. I'm telling you. Ryan Garcia's left hook is going to be jammed in that man's face. I'm telling you, green light was good, fam. Rome, what up, my dog? Man, let's keep rolling, y'all. Let's keep it rolling. We got more. We got Edward, because you know he did. I'll remind y'all that the dude that y'all be arguing on behalf of, he stuck it to Edward, man. Edward Hearn said, man, I done lent this dude 500, man, 500K, man. He did me dirt. Eddie said he did me wrong, man. Edward said he did me wrong. Let's go. Let's get into this, man. Hit that like button, everybody. Everybody in here. He said, yeah, and we thought Ryan was going to KO Roby. Yeah, that shit ain't happen, right? I had a feeling Regis could make it to the distance, though. And I'm not really trying to be overly critical of him for not knocking him out. But when you sell yourself as a knockout artist and you ain't had a knockout since your PED scandal, it just don't look good in terms of you making a case that you were never on anything.
I'm a geezer first. I'll tell you why you're a geezer.
I thought about this, and you know, like there's a big misconception that if you've got loads of money that you're really happy and you're motivated, but actually, what?
All right, mate. I'm happy.
There is that people think, oh, where he's fucking minted, like what's he got to fucking worry about? But you generally, like for 16 years, every day I've known you, you just crack on. Like, you just crack on. Doesn't matter what's going on. You just get up and fucking go to town. Like, it's quite impressive.
Do you know the reality of life is, right? Life is hard. It doesn't matter what you've got. Now, don't get me wrong. If you've built up a business, if you've got a few quid, yeah, of course, you can live life in a certain way. But it also comes with a load of aggravation. Just like, you build a big business. Do you think that you just said, no, it's fine, you can just chill out now?
Rico,
it actually becomes
how you feeling?
A bigger problem. In fact, as Biggie said, my money, my problems. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, what I was going to say about you was fair play to you, because you've been plaguing me for the last couple of days. I've been away. I've had a little bit of downtime. Is the sound all right, by the way?
Yes, that was perfect.
Yeah. So I've had a little bit of downtime, a bit of time with the family. It's been lovely to have a little sort of nearly a week off. And last night I was supposed to fly back to New York for meetings and got on the plane, and the pilot says there's a rocket taking off at Cape Canaveral, so we can't take off at the minute. And then we've got to go to Miami, and then we've got to stay there for a few hours. Then we've got to fly on to New York, land at 4 o'clock in the morning. So I was stuck. So I'm flying back. I'm actually not going to make the Fight Day 5K in Manchester, which I just spoke to Aspinall about. He's a bit pissed off, to be honest with you, because he's now leading the run. And if you're around Manchester, make sure you're there 9:30 tomorrow. Follow Matchroom socials before the Pat Brown fight, which I'm really looking forward to. Friday night action. Then on to Chisora, Saturday night action on The Zone as well. I will be there as well. Yeah. And yeah. What the point I was getting to was...
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Sorry. I'll get to the bit about bigging you up, don't worry. And I was like, mate, you were like, can we just do a bit? And I was like, yeah. I said, to be honest with you, mate, with the time zone, you went, just give me any time. Any time, I'll do it. I went, all right then, 4 o'clock in the morning, your time. And you went, all right, sweet. I'll go to bed now and I'll set my alarm. I was like, fucking hell. I was expecting you to say, no, we'll leave it. So well done to you. You're like on call. You know, like back in the day, BBC One, Casualty, right? When they were on call, they could go back home to the apartment. The old beeper goes off, you got to go. That's you. You are boxing's Casualty. You're boxing's BBC One Casualty.
I'll take it.
Literally.
I'll take it. I think, like, without sounding weird, I still get an hard-on for interviewing you than I did 16 years ago.
Yeah, because I do numbers.
No, but it's not just numbers. I generally like. I actually like.
Do you know what? If I ever feel a little bit low, and I ever think, you know, Eddie, are you still the main man really in boxing? All I do is I go off on IFL YouTube. I go to your videos, and I go down. It's like, you know, 2,000, 3,000, 3,000, 20,000, 800, 2,000.
He tore into his boy Conor Benn. So, like I said, Conor Benn said if he seen Eddie Hearn, he'd give him a cuddle. I don't think he gonna feel that way after what Eddie was saying.
3,000, 172,000. Jesus Christ, what's he done? Interviewed the king? Well, pretty much, yeah. Oh, it's an exclusive with Eddie Hearn Raw. Do you know what I mean? And I just think to myself, that's why Cassius loves me, because I'm smashing their numbers.
It is numbers, but also like there is a thing, and also I like the way you give him a little bit of a chase. Like I've messaged you for 5 days, yeah. And
yeah, that is true.
I know I get it. So when I get
but you know what with me, one, and sorry to stress it, and I know you feel really uncomfortable when I do this because I know that certain people that you interview have certain requirements and they like to do things in a certain way, and I'm not even knocking that. Because I get it, in all sport, people don't just sit down and go, yeah, mate, to the, some fucking random geezer from Wickford on a fucking YouTube. Yeah, mate, ask me what you want. They go, the PR team go, oh, you can't mention this. Oh, don't mention this. Oh, dress it up like this. Oh, after the interview, send it through and we'll make the edits. Let's be honest, that's bollocks. You know with me, and sometimes to my detriment, I just give it to you.
The real.
No, did he? Raw. Right? And it's like...
Did he just say no, did he?
You never have to... I never take anything out. I never know what you're going to ask me. But you...
Yo, bro, did bro just say did he, bro?
Because you know you're going to get gold. And everyone knows they're going to get gold when they tune in. And guess what? I've got to stop swearing as well. Auntie Dawn's not happy. But I'll tell you something now. I don't give a fuck. Like, I watch these interviews... And I'm like,
here we go again. Hearn just hating. Here again. So you telling me a man that literally took every bullet fired from every kind of gun at Conor Benn while he was going through the PED scandal. Eddie Hearn was literally Conor Benn's bulletproof vest. I watched this man go on platforms and get grilled about his support and his loyalty for Conor Benn, trying to push fights through while he ain't have licenses to fight and all types of stuff. Eddie was still trying to push and get him fights. This dude said he loaned him, like, what'd he say, 500 grand for a house? And so he gonna talk about it? Like, that's not hating, bro. That's disloyalty at its highest level. And he never said that he was mad that he got the money. He was confused as to why you wouldn't even talk to him and take a phone call from him about the situation. That's not how you do somebody that looked out for you when you at the rock bottom. That's nothing to do with hating, man. That's principles and morals, man. Something that a lot of people lack in today's world, bro. That's why we could look at a successful guy as Eddie Hearn. He's doing the promoting. He ain't pressed for no money. He the one that lended the money out. And all of a sudden now he a hater because he's speaking on it because Conor Benn is saying that he never got help from Eddie. Eddie like, yo, you lying. I helped you. You get what I'm saying? And I don't think Eddie's lying about this. He was very specific about what he did for him. And he didn't speak on it until Conor Benn came out and said he never did nothing for him.
This is about other interviews I've seen this week. Not on your channel, right? Yeah. You're asking him what to say. Secondly, you're a compulsive guy.
Rome, you feel me, bro?
Right? So every time now, occasionally,
I don't move like that.
In this interview, you will be bringing up stuff. Oh, so-and-so said this. So as always, what I do is I come with...
God, think dudes be having kids and all types of stuff, and you at rock bottom, and the dude help you get up out of that situation. That's not a dude that you stab in the back, right? I can respect you going to get your money, but I do still feel like you owe the man a conversation. You could have talked to that man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Conquest. What's good with it, bro? What's good, man? Let's go.
The receipts, baby. That's what I do. No like bullshit. And when someone questions what I've said,
principles and morals, Mike,
that's where I feel like I actually have to come back and go, whoa, because I don't. Now, what I can do is when I'm bigging up my fighters or when I'm doing this, yes, I can. I don't want to say accentuate the truth. I can give you the hyperbole, but when it comes to stone cold facts that actually I'm like that are quite important to me, I'm not going to sit back and just let some other thing be spun into the media sphere. So, yeah. Good to see you, son. Anyway, is that it? We're done?
Yeah, no.
Tune into the Zone Friday night for the big bomber, Patrick Brown.
Eddie like, look, man, when it come to my fighters, yeah, I could give you the hype about my fighters because that's what a promoter is supposed to do. He's supposed to sell you the fighter, and it's the fighter's job to perform after the promoter done did all that selling. If you ask me, everybody got a job to do. Eddie don't do the fighting; he do the promoting, right? He making sure you do right by the fighters, right? And that's what you've heard for the most part about Eddie. You know what I'm saying? Bro, you get me, Rome? You get me? You got one. Hey, look, you got one freebie from me, Rome. One crash out freebie from me after that. You know what I'm saying? I crash out one good time for you. 500K. Come on, man. So that I just say give Eddie a bit of a break. I think he's been pretty loyal, and especially to Conor Benn. Man, I was following. I was like, yo, this dude literally like getting grilled on podcasts. Like, dude started arguing with him. What's the dude name? Simon Jordan, I think. Man, he started arguing with him on his own podcast about like, yo, why are you doing this for Conor Benn? He was on his helmet. I'm like, yo, look at this. Nobody is taking the bullets like that. He literally suited up the Kevlar vest and said, look, anything, any issues y'all got with Conor, direct them to me. He might as well had a sign holding that up saying, man, fire all bullets towards Conor Benn at me. You get me? That's real loyalty. That's something I respect. I'm like, damn, yo. And think about it. He kept him away from harm. He kept Conor Benn away from harm. And when he finally went to real harm, it was because the money was right. You get what I'm saying? So Eddie always did right by Conor in my book, from what I can see.
Yeah,
with the knowledge that's out there, like the information that I said.
Oh, no, I thought that was the interview done.
No, it's not.
Oh, sorry.
No, I was actually having a conversation with someone about you the other day, and I said to him that, do you know what, though? I know you waffle on about all this fucking stuff, like, oh, I don't ask this and don't run. But there's only been, I think, 2 occasions in like 16 years, and this weren't down to you, actually. I was advised by other people's legal teams about how to ask you questions. That weren't nothing to do with you. I'm just saying to you, there was like a few situations or a couple of situations where...
Well, that's out of order. You should have told me that at the time. No one should advise you about how to speak to me.
No, I don't want to get into a fucking legal battle. Unless you're going to back it for me, I ain't going to get into a fucking legal battle with stuff going on. Like, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, but no one should tell you the questions that you should be asking.
No, they weren't saying that. They were just...
If you're going to speak to Hearn about that, don't say that. Don't say that.
It wasn't what I did ask. It's what, like, to stay away from. And that was
at the end of the day, I'm not, you know, one thing I learned as well, and I'll tell you a quick story. Back in the day, Frank Warren used to sue me if I sneezed, right? And that's obviously an exaggeration, but I used to think that Frank Warren was very litigious, right? And he is. But over time, I've also learned that, unfortunately, if someone says something that is not like, and it affects your reputation or everything that you've built up over the years, that's the route that you have to take. And it is a bit sad, but that, unfortunately, that's life and that's business, and particularly that's boxing. So I used to actually look back at Frank and be like, fucking up, like, but he's an amazing applier of pressure. And in those early years where I was starting out, he was just battering me with pressure. And it built me into the operator that I am today, in all honesty. But I used to...
Shout out to Miss Dee. Look, man, Ryan was good. You could have a problem all you want with what Eddie Hearn is saying. He don't have to state the obvious. The obvious is, yeah, he got paid. He got paid for a one-off with Zuffa, but he also got paid for fighting under Eddie Hearn. He also got paid in back-to-back fights with Chris Eubank. So shit's just because all money ain't good money. Right. And look, I said this earlier, I'm gonna say it again, and I stand on it. Whether or not this move with Zuffa was good, was smart for Conor Benn, remains to be seen. Maybe for the short term, yeah, I got the bag right now, I secured it. But if you burnt bridges in the process, that's gonna have you in limbo. Then you probably didn't make the best move. Like, for instance, you talking about this WBC belt. You don't even know what your relationship is with the promoter that you just stuck it to, that held you down when you ain't had nothing. Nothing, literally. out on your ass. You get me? Like, damn. And then you stick it to him. Now, say if you can't go back and you stuck with Zuffa. Zuffa ain't been cooperating with the sanctioning bodies. You talking about keeping your belt warm. So again, did you make the right move or the wrong move? OT was good with it. So we gonna see. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying Conor Benn is wrong for going to get the money, but the way Eddie is speaking about how it happened, it sounds crazy to me. Not giving a man a phone call, he just asked to speak to you, like no, and then made the money, and then gonna say you want him to be a part of your career. If you want him to be a part, don't you think you would have gave him a phone call? So it's a lot of games at the end of the day. At the end of the day, Conor Benn is justifying his move because who gonna pay his who gonna help feed his family and all that. And he right, and he not wrong for getting the money, but it's how you do things, man. You know what I mean? It's how you do things. You don't gotta burn bridges in the process just to make money.
To hold that against him a little bit, but now I understand how it all works. I actually don't anymore because I know that certain people talk shit and they have to pay for that or they have to retract that because you just can't do that. So, yeah, like I get you don't want to get sued, but at the same time, if you can't take the heat, get out of my fucking kitchen.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, by the way, this is nothing to do with any promoters. This was to do with fighters.
Nah, Eddie talking crazy. Eddie said, "You can't take the heat, man. You got good about the kitchen, G. You got good about the
fucking kitchen."
Yeah, 100%. Oh, by the way, this is nothing to do with any promoters. This was to do with fighters.
Yeah, it's the principles. That's all it is, bro.
I'm not. This is to do with fighters.
Backtracking like a bitch.
Absolutely not. You mentioned Frank Warren there. I'm just making it clear that I was talking about fighters, their teams, telling me I wouldn't ask any that and I'll stay clear of this. And anyway.
Yeah, okay, on we go.
Anyway, it was today. No, not really. How are you, first of all?
I'm really good, really good. Like I said, I had like nearly a week of I was working non-stop, but just a bit of sun, as you can tell. Jeez. And yeah, looking forward to, I mean, probably the most pleasing thing of the week, week off, was closing boots tennis against Xander Zayas. Like, it's just a massive moment for Matchroom Boxing, for DAZN, and particularly for Jaron Ennis. And we have been working non-stop for like 6 months to deliver this guy. And, you know, people always want to spin the narrative. Sign with Eddie, yeah, good, you're going to get paid, but is he gonna be able to make the fights? And we did that with Stanionis. Then we moved up to 154, and it was like, had the Lima fight. Oh, I don't see a direction now. The Ortiz fight's fallen through. And I have to give massive credit to Xander Zayas and to Top Rank. I'm still actually quite shocked this young man is taking a challenge, and I'll take my hat off to him. And he wants to be great. You know, the fight is the pursuit of greatness. And we have a monster fight, June 27, Barclays Centre. Very, very proud of delivering it. And I can't wait. Listen, it's not going to be an easy fight, but I just know my man is on another level. And this guy is heading towards pound for pound #1 status. And this is another step as he becomes a two-time, twice unified world champion. And, you know, we've also got Josh Kelly in the division. We're in talks with Louis de Cubas about potentially making the Fundorian.
If bitching is telling the truth, then I guess Eddie Hearn is bitching, because I feel like he's telling the truth. I don't think no grown man with this reputation in his position gonna lie about the help that he did for a fighter. And I think it's very obvious the amount of loyalty that he displayed through the years with Conor. It's very simple. You know what I mean? You can try to spin it, twist it however you want. I don't think he bitching. He's talking very calmly and matter-of-factly, but like he said, when it comes to the facts, if you gonna put some stuff out there that's not true, I'm gonna respond to it. And I like the fact that he's willing to do that. And he spared him. He didn't go into detail until Conor came out and said what he said.
As well. Let's get these fights made. Let's make an undisputed champion. That's what the game's all about.
So, great fight. It is a great fight. I actually said that to you the other day. Congratulations, Eddie.
Thank you.
It was a great fight. But why didn't Xander Zayas and Josh Kelly happen then?
Obviously, financially, this fight was a much bigger fight for Xander. It's a bigger profile fight. Xander was up for the Josh Kelly fight, but I think it was just I don't know. I can't answer that because I'm not Xander Zayas, but he just seems to want to take the biggest challenges and the biggest fights, and that's why I give utmost respect to him. You know, he's one of the biggest young stars in the sport. He didn't have to take this fight, but he believes he's the best in the division, and we should be championing that. Like, and you know, for Josh now, we kind of, after that fight was made, we're talking about a voluntary defence in July, and then Adam Booth phoned me up and said, "Look, let's make the Fundora fight." So we've had very, very early conversations with PBC about that. They're very interested. And I said, let's make Josh Kelly against Fundora, and then the winner fights the winner of Boots Zayas for the undisputed. So, I mean, that would be a very natural thing to do. And just a sign that boxing's in a great place, because the best are fighting the best, the champions are fighting the champions. And, yeah, on we go.
You're an official semi-final then.
Yeah.
Well done, mate. Well done. I'm really proud of you getting that over the line.
Thank you, mate.
Can you sort your fucking internet out?
Oh, seems fine to me.
You're starting to buffer. You Michael buffered a little bit there.
Oh, brilliant. Brilliant.
Why are you going tomorrow? Not tomorrow, Saturday, sorry.
Jordan.
What?
Nothing to do with you. It's nothing to do with you at all. You've got no fighters on the card. There's literally nothing to do with you. Why are you going?
Because I was with AJ. Firstly, I love Del, right?
This
and
dude
like
from
IFL
IFL
I mean, I think
TV.
he's too got. I mean, Wilder. I've been watching
know
his
his name.
interviews, and I'm like, this geezer's on, and like, I don't know what we're going to get from Wilder. Honestly, like, he could just be completely shot to pieces, or he could come back and give an amazing performance and knock Chisora out in a couple of rounds. That's why I like the fight. But it was actually, I was just with AJ, and he went to me, should we go to the Fury fight? And I was like, yeah, I mean, it's not really your thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't.
They don't have timestamps, so I don't know exactly when he started picking up, but you're going to hear him. He's going to address Conor Benn, and he damn near, you know, I addressed the PD situation too, if I'm not mistaken. So this just got interesting.
If you want to go, it'd be great. He's going, yeah, I think we'll go. I was like, all right then. He said,
it's not his thing.
He doesn't like to. He's not really into going to other people. Like, I don't know.
Actually, I get that.
You know that. It's always been like that. He's like, no, leave it. Like, he doesn't. Anyway, then he said, should we go to Chisora? I was like, well, that's back-to-back, like, weekends. He's like, yeah. So we're going to Chisora. And actually, I'm not going in a work capacity. I'm just going, like, Del's me mate, kind of, and AJ's me mate. So it's not like I'm not. So don't start fucking asking me for interviews, because no, because apparently you want to give it the big one and go, oh, where are you going, mate? And I'll remind you of that when you're coming up to me with your poxy camera at my Jaxie game. I felt quick reaction to the knockout so I can make another couple of grand out of you. I'm like, no. I'll be going, no, mate. As you said, what am I even doing here? Cheerio. That's what will be happening on Saturday night.
Why you were there, but obviously would love the fact that you're there.
Oh, yeah, I bet you would.
Yeah, views, baby. Do you think it's his last fight or not? Talking bollocks, any surely.
Who, Del Boy?
Yeah, come on.
I mean, if he wins and he wins well, absolutely not. No chance.
Yeah.
But if he gets beat, yeah, I would say it was his last fight.
Oh, it's getting exciting now. And you're going to come next week as well. You've got interest in that.
So we've got Justice Finney on the card, yeah. So we'll be there. I mean, look,
fight. What do you think about that?
I think you got to remember when Justice Finney fought Fabio Wardley, he had like a 4 or 5 week camp. He had an injury, and take nothing away from Fabio. What he done was incredible, but he did win nearly every round. Justice,
like, try to skip that.
He's very.
Yeah, I don't want to hear about.
10 years on, like, Perro's my guy. I can put Miller in with him. It's a really good fight. I would have to take a position.
Did not involve you working with Keith Connolly?
Well, he'd be an opponent. I mean, like, I know, but firstly, I know Conor Benn would never fight Josh Kelly. But yeah, like, what I'm saying is, Keith Connolly comes to me all the time saying, I've got this guy. Would you sign him? Would you sign him? Would you sign him? Would you sign him?
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Right.
right? If there was an opportunity for one of my guys, and unfortunately the opponent was with Keith Connolly, and it was a great opportunity for my guy to make a load of money, would I sign a Keith Connolly fighter? No, at the moment. And that's why I down tools on all those guys. We was, Richardson, Hitchens. I mean, firstly, I'm not going to go into it because Richardson Hitchens is a good kid, but he was terribly advised. He's cost him millions of dollars. Now he's going to sign with Zuffa, lose his championship, whatever. But we pulled out. Keith came to us and said, look, let's work on Richardson Hitchens. We said no. Belanga we talked about, and then everything happened with Conor Benn. I said, no, I'm not doing it. So
you see, the shit he's saying is not based off malice, spite, or hating, or being disgruntled. Is I've done right by y'all, but y'all spit in my face. Richardson Hitchens in particular, like he said, like even with that, he's a good kid, but he's been terribly advised and it's cost him millions of dollars. Richardson Hitchens is talking about making more M's, more millions, and more belts. But like I said, fighting for Zuffa, it might be a conflict there. It might be some type of issue there with you to fight and maintain your belt. And on top of that, they don't even got 140 divisions. So you might end up having to fight at 47. You get what I'm saying? But in the process of chasing greener pastures or different opportunities, you burnt the bridge on the other side for a guy that took you from Mayweather Promotions, where you wasn't being promoted. He made you a bit of a priority, made you a world champion, got you a title defense, and then you announced that you leaving him without even talking to him, right? And he had more in store for you, right? And then just for y'all to have to come back and try to work with him, and he had to turn y'all down, then you was forced to kind of go to Zuffa. So again, make your money, but make sure these opportunities ain't causing you to burn bridges on the other side. Because I don't know, Zuffa might not be what y'all think it is. It don't have the fighters. It don't. I don't know who he gonna fight going over there to Zuffa fighting at 147. Who the hell are you gonna fight? So if you burn bridges in the process, I don't think that's going to be the best move. You heard what Eddie Hearn said. That shit, you was terribly advised, and that shit just cost you millions of dollars. Who's to say he wasn't going to make that money with Eddie? I think he could have. And with the fact that you got Top Rank, Golden Boy, and the Zone kind of merged together, think your opportunities and options to fight are wider than going over to Zuffa. And you don't have to worry about the conflict with the sanctioning bodies that Zuffa is having right now. See what I'm saying? So it's just weird, man. So puts their 140 guys on ring cards. Breon Gorham. Shout out to Breon Gorham who got a KO this weekend, man. Grind time, Breon Gorham. Y'all seen we interviewed him on the channel. Shout out to my dog Behind the Hands TV, man. Think he did not ask IBF before he made his decision. I don't think he did, because I don't think they be crossing every T and dotting every I, Conquest. I really don't. I don't. Because the first, you know why, and I'll tell you why I think, why, in my opinion, I have no way to know for sure. But why I don't think he did, like, ask or go to them, is because the first thing he posted on his social media was like more M's and more belts. And I'm like, how? Like, who over there in Zuffa got belts? Who over there in Zuffa is fighting for belts? Look what just happened to Jai Patai, who happened to have the same IBF title that Richardson Hitchens is holding. Dre was good with it. So I don't know. I did hear, shout out to the situation with Hitchens could be a little different than Jai Patai. So maybe he won't be affected the very same way, but we'll see. We'll see. Like, I don't got faith that everything is going to be on the up and up with them, right? Because if that's the case, if they was going to allow Richardson Hitchens to keep his title and fight for it being on Zuffa, then why strip Jai Patai and make him go through that after he got his jaw wired for it? You get what I'm saying? So it's a little crazy, but let's keep going, man. Let's hear what Eddie had to say, man.
Are you not cutting your nose off to spite your face with this, or not?
What, with Richardson Hitchens and Edgar
Just in general, like,
because you have to stand
fight for the benefit of you.
Look, at the end of the day, right?
I think so too.
You can't let people behave and treat you in a certain way and just carry on, because it just makes you a schmuck. Now, I'm as cold as anyone in the game, where I'm like, do you know what? We'll move on. And by the way, in 3, 4, 5 years' time, maybe we do. But I can only ever tell you how I'm feeling right now. And unfortunately, like, the Conor Benn issue just keeps rumbling on.
Comparing Devin Haney relationship and Conor Benn relationship is silly to do. It's silly. It's not even remotely the same. Tell me something. Who else promoted Conor Benn? outside of Eddie. The difference is Devin Haney worked with Bob Arum. Eddie worked with a little bit of everybody. It's not the same shit, bro. Did he lend Devin Haney $500K for a house? It's not the same. Stop being silly, man. I'm trying to let you make it, but you sound silly. Stop making an argument. If you want to go the other way, go the other way. But nothing you type is going to make me think differently. Bullshit is bullshit. Sucker shit is sucker shit. I've been down before, and I know what it's like to be held down. I know what it's like to hold somebody down. That's where I'm coming from, real experience. So I level with Eddie Hearn. No matter what you type is going to change that. Him and Haney is totally different. Haney went public about some tickets that he couldn't get from Eddie Hearn. And that's when Eddie Hearn started talking his shit. He said it, man, you could have just came to me, but you go on social media and start whining. Like, come on. And then he see Eddie just to shake his hand. Kill that shit. It's not the same. That fake ass beat that Devin Haney was just acting like a entitled, spoiled kid, bro. That's it. Conor Benn has been in bed with Eddie Hearn his entire career, bro. That two's been pushing him. Nobody else. Come on, man. You hold a guy down, you think that'll be the last dude to spit in your face and not give you a phone call? Knock it off. It's not the same, bro. Not the same. He told you Devin Haney is grossly overpaid, but he also told you if that dude is signed with me, I'll be willing to lose money for him. That's basically what he said in so many words. But if he's not with me, then I got to be real. I'm not promoting him, so I'm going to tell you the truth. If I'm with him, then I'm going to give you the hype about him. He's doing what a promoter should do, but at the same time, he's going to let you know the real when that guy is no longer with him. And he is saying what many others have said, multiple other promoters have said about the overpaid shit. But the fact is, it's Devin Haney that gets the laugh to the bank, so I don't even care about that. But I don't think he shitted on the way people make it seem. They relationship, they ain't on bad terms right now. But Conor Benn and Eddie Hearn might be a totally different situation because they had a lot of money at play. They had a much different relationship.
And I'm finding out more and more stuff that's making me just go, I actually can't believe. One, what I'm hearing. Two, what I'm finding out. And three, how it's all unfolded. So, yeah, it's probably driving a bigger wedge at the moment in terms of that opinion. But, like, it is what it is, you know. Keith's going to do his job. And maybe, like I said, maybe in a couple of years, I'll change how I feel. It's no big deal.
Right. Well, it comes on to my next question. Right. So I don't know exactly the date of when Conor Benn has done this interview with Gary Neville on the overlap. I don't know the exact date, but I'm assuming it was roughly around maybe 2 to 3 weeks.
Hey, I'm telling you, bro, behind the hands, I follow that situation closer. I watched Eddie Hearn really put a strap on the Kevlar vest and take every bullet aimed at Conor Benn. He literally meteor manned the bullets for Conor. Everybody shoot, he was you get me? Every angle, bang, 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 bang. I watched this shit. I was like, damn, bro, you going hard. People started to question his integrity, right? His credibility as a promoter, as a businessman, saying he didn't know what he was doing. He gonna ruin it all over Conor Benn. You don't have no idea the kind of shit that I've seen people say in regards to Eddie Hearn for him coming to bat for his fighter, just for being loyal to his guy, bro. Just for being loyal to his guy. They shitted on him for that. I watched it. So, nah, man, he's the only one fighting for him when he was defending him with that PED shit. And now some of the truth came out, bro. Truth came out.
Have you watched the whole thing?
Not the whole thing, no. I've just been sent, obviously, a lot of clips by a lot of people in disbelief. But no, I've not watched the whole interview.
Okay. So, look, I'll dissect this to how I read this, yeah? Obviously, there was a clipped comment, right? And you have to watch the whole interview to actually know kind of what Conor Benn's context was from it. About he doesn't owe you a cent, right? That's the first thing.
He didn't say that.
Pardon?
He didn't say that.
Oh, no, so you never lent me a cent?
Correct.
Sorry. The context of that, for people watching the whole thing, was referring to legal bills at that point. So can you give me your take on that?
I mean, I feel like you've actually spoken to his team on that. because
That's what. Did he not? No. I swear,
no.
Eddie. I
Okay,
swear
well,
to God.
that's easy to get. Let me just make one thing clear. Right now, I'm watching this stuff thinking, I just actually think you might just be a compulsive liar. Because I'm listening to the stuff and it's like, either you are that deluded and or you're just making up, or like right now, his sort of PR, if you like, which is what they're trying to do, is like on the floor. Like, go and read the comments, listen to the reception when he walks out at Spurs. Like, I'm actually a bit gutted because I spent 3 years turning him round into a popular fighter, and it's all just come crashing down. But let me tell you, and I hate doing this because I don't want to make him look even worse than the situation is, but I have to give you the facts, right? Because I can't sit there after everything we've done. Listen to this interview where Gary Neville says, well, he said he lent you money. And he goes, he never lent me a cent. Okay. So in February 2022, and to put this into context, the one thing that I want for all my fighters is to be able to buy themselves a house, pay off the mortgage, keep chipping away, move up the ladder, buy a bigger house, extend their property portfolio, buy additional properties, blah, blah, blah. So Conor Benn buys the house very close to the office, right? I drive him round there. When he buys it, he wants to show me. We pull up, drop him off there. He said, I can't believe I've got this house. I can't believe it. I said, you know what, mate? I said, I'm so happy for you. I said, let's get this mortgage paid off. But I bet you, in a few months' time, as you continue to earn money, you'll actually move out of here and you'll want a bigger house. No. I'm happy here. I'm happy here. I said, okay, well, remember this conversation. Anyway, can't remember how long it was. 6 months, whatever it was. Conor Benn came into my office and he said, all right, mate, I've seen another house. I said, I knew you would. Like, blah, blah, blah. I said, listen, British, yeah, but it's just up the road from the office in Brentwood. It's beautiful. He showed me, stunning house. I was so happy for him. I was like, I can't believe you're going to move into that house, mate. This is exactly what we want, blah, blah, blah. So he come to me and he said, I can't afford it right now, but it's a great opportunity to buy it. He said, would you lend me the money? I was like,
listen up,
what
put your ears on.
He says, $250,000. But, like, it's ready, I can move, it's a great opportunity for me. I was like, all right, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll lend you $250,000. Not in advance of a purse. I will lend you the money because, you're my guy.
Why would you do that?
Because
have you done it for any other fighter?
Yeah, if I was close to a fighter and
you would do that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, don't forget, this was not an advance on a purse, right? But I knew he had fights coming up that were more than that. So I was comfortable he would pay me back. It wasn't like, oh, will I ever see the money again? But I had to front it up to give him the money to buy his house now, right? Probably I shouldn't have done it, really. But listen, he asked me, come in with the puppy eyes, what do you want me to do, right? So I said, all right. So I paid him, lent him, 250 grand plus that. Lent. Okay? Whatever it was, he fought 3 or 4 months later, whatever it was, and paid me back. No problem. Sweet. Got his nice house in Brentwood. No problem. Thank you very much. You're welcome. Okay? Fast forward to July that year. And, Conor Benn likes the extravagant things in life. He comes to me and we make the Eubank fight. And he says to me, yeah, I'm pretty sure. He wanted to buy a Rolls Royce. It's like, brilliant, blinding. He said, could I borrow some money?
Listen up.
And I said, well, we've done this before, mate, but no, what I'll do is I'll lend you the money, but it'll have to be an advance on your purse against Chris Eubank. No problem. How much you want, Con? 300 grand. Sorry. Oh, have you got me there?
Yeah, I've got you, mate.
By the way, I've got to go soon,
Yes,
but I will
that's
finish this
stupid.
story. And hold on. Sorry, someone called me. So,
Eddie
how much you want,
talking
Pod?
that talk,
300 grand. Okay, well, 300 grand, and we'll take it off your purse when it comes in eventually. Obviously, now we didn't know that the fight wasn't going to happen. So, lend him 300 grand. It's a contract, advance on your purse, no problem. Conor Benn fails
Technique.
his drug test twice. The fight gets
Listen up.
cancelled. We lose £1 million in costs because
Listen
the fight
up.
was pulled, on the week. And Conor Benn owes us 300 grand. Okay? Not the best.
So you telling me just sitting up here lying, just making shit up, just lying. Like we ain't watched with how this was the only person going to bat for him. His dad wasn't doing this shit and all this. He wasn't taking the shots. This dude got hit with every type of firearm you could think of because everybody had smoke for Conor Benn. Everybody. And it was pissed off that Eddie kept trying to push him through. You still trying to get him fights. He don't got a license. He ain't clear his name. All that shit, man. This is Eddie. That's all I'm saying. Like, that's man shit, bro. He held him down. This is solid. Too much detail. You feel
we
me,
let
Joe?
it simmer. We go through the whole process with him. We let him mourn, obviously, blah, blah, blah. And at some point, I don't know when, maybe 6 months later, sort of said to him, obviously, you owe us 300 grand, but, right now I've got all my legal bills. I've got this, I've got no money, I've got blah, blah, blah. I said, all right, listen, you keep the money. And when you're in a position to pay us back, you can pay us back. 3 years later,
Listen up.
when he fought Chris Eubank Jr., and that was all done, we got our 300 grand back.
The first fight, yeah?
Yes.
Oh.
No interest. By the way, that cost me 50 grand on the money. And no problems at all. So when you sit there and say, they never lent us a cent. And by the way, after he said that, I reached out to his lawyer, who I know. And I said, are you fucking taking the piss? Because he was involved in the whole process of us lending him money. Oh, no. What he meant was you never lent him any money for his legal fees. I said, so hang on a minute. You want me to lend you 550 grand and also lend you money for your legal fees that are a result of the 2 drug tests that you failed. And by the way, the 300 grand that I gave you, you were using for your legal fees anyway. And I'm just like,
how do you know that?
What do you think? You
No,
got
I'm just asking. How do you know that?
Oh, because I gave him 300 grand. I lent him 300 grand. Now he's not fighting and he's got to pay his legal fees. Where do you think the money? By the way, what he did with that 300 grand, I think he did buy a Rolls Royce, then he sold a Rolls Royce. I don't give a fuck what he did with that. But don't sit there and say, I never lent you money. I lent you 550 grand. 1, to buy a house, and 2, because you were banging trouble and I never called it in. And I gave you 3 years to pay that money back until you're in a position to do so. And I went above and beyond for you at every single level, emotionally, mentally, financially. I never, ever stopped having your back through that whole time since you were 18 years old. So don't sit there and lie and say, I never lent you a cent. And his lawyer said, yeah, no, you're right. No, he'll clarify that in front of all the media next week. Good. So ask him, but he won't apologise because you didn't specifically lend him money for the legal fees. Well, you want me to bankroll your legal bills now for your failed drugs test?
That's crazy.
Like, that geezer come into the office, I've done him favour after favour after favour after favour. So many favours. But anyway, I'm done talking about it. I'm just saying, you're a liar if you're going to sit there and say, I never lent you a cent.
Right.
See that? And that's clear as day, yo. That's not nobody bitching. That's somebody like, bro, what? Why would you sit up in that interview and lie and say I ain't never helped you out? And then when you confronted about it, they try to switch it up and say, nah, well, he's going to clear it up. He meant for his legal fees. Yo, that man ain't responsible for your legal fees for 2 drug tests that you failed. The piss test, bro. Like, bro, at this point, like, you get me? You might have burnt the bridge, and that's my whole point too, Sizzle. That's all I'm saying, bro. I ain't trying to say Eddie Hearn some angel with a halo. Nah, man, bro. He seemed like he did right by this dude from what we could tell. I can't find nobody outside of the Benn family that's saying anything different, and I'm definitely not trying to hear that shit. Because his father, we watched the story with Andre Ward and Lisa McClellan, and she asked somebody directly that was Nigel Benn on PED. So who cares what he think? But you seem like you burnt the bridge to try to get, you say the grass is greener on the other side, and you was willing to burn a bridge to get it. And that's not always the best way to go about making money. Because again, you got your rest of your career to think about. Right now, you're talking about fighting for a WBC title. And you over there on Zuffa, where it seemed like it'll be an immediate conflict of interest right away. Mauricio Suleiman been on all BS. Think you're going to be over there on Zuffa? Or where you going to be at? Who's going to promote your fight against Ryan Garcia? Eddie Hearn? Like, you get what I'm trying to say? He might have put himself in a weird space, but only time will tell. I don't know. It's too soon to tell, but right now it looks shaky to me.
That is the facts of the situation. Oh. I lent him 550 grand plus VAT and let him get his life back together till he even paid it back. Never called it in, never wanted interest, never wanted anything other than to support him and make sure he was okay. And also when he said, no one checked on me. No, what do you fucking what? We were there side by side with you the whole time. For everything you needed. For every time a battle needs to be fought with the media. For every time you needed money from us to give you that advance and to not call it back in. To keep making fights in other countries where commissions didn't want you to fight.
Listen to what he's saying.
Wanted to speak to ABCs around the world to make sure you could never step foot into the ring. We got you 2 more fights during that period.
Listen to what he's saying. I don't want to hear shit from nobody on this particular topic right here when it comes to these two. This fight, this is one that I'm willing to call bullshit on right here. I'm sorry, bro. It don't get no clearer than that. Do you know how you put your reputation, your credibility, and everything you work for on the line when you're actively pursuing and pushing fights over the hump when a guy is actively on the hook for failing back-to-back steroid tests, PED tests, and you got the nerve to tell me that Conor Benn had the right to stick it to him like that? Yeah, go get the money. Get the hell out of here, bro. Got that man 2 fights in that period, bro. I just don't get it, bro. That's your career that you talking about. This man was breaking down, crying. He ain't had nothing. I don't think people get it. Go listen to the Conor Benn interview. He told the story. Go listen to it. He just left some details out, man. Eddie Hearn, all I'm saying is it seemed like Eddie Hearn did right by him, and they trying to make it seem like he didn't all of a sudden. His nasty work, bro. Nobody was trying to get this man no damn fights while he was on the hook for them PEDs. That shit was looking crazy.
In front of all the media next week. Good. So ask him, but he won't apologise because you didn't specifically lend him money for the legal fees. Well, you want me to bankroll your legal bills now for your failed drugs test. Right, that geezer come into the office. I done him favour after.
He wanted his promoter, to pay the legal fees for him to fight the failed drug tests after already giving him money for a credit. You can't make this shit up, bro. And people out here, Eddie, shut up, man. Nah, Eddie did a solid by him. I ain't trying to hear it, bro. I seen the way he pushed for
favour after favour after favour. So many.
He never wavered. He
anyway,
always
I'm done
maintained
talking
that
about
Conor
it.
Benn
I'm just saying you're a liar
always.
if you're going to sit there and say I never lent you a cent.
Right.
That is the facts of the situation. Oh. I lent him 550 grand plus VAT.
That's crazy.
And let him get his life back together till he even paid it back. Never called it in, never wanted interest, never wanted anything other than to support him and make sure he was okay. And also when he said, no one checked on me. No, what do you fucking what? We were there side by side with you the whole time. For everything you needed. For every time a battle needs to be fought with the media. For every time you needed money from us to give you that advance and to not call it back in. To keep making fights in other countries where commissions didn't want you to fight. Where boards wanted to speak to ABCs around the world to make sure you could never step foot into the ring. We got you 2 more fights during that period.
Listen to this shit, bro.
And I'm like, I hate to.
If that's not loyalty, I don't know what is. No interest on crazy loans over $500,000 just to make sure he was good. Conor Benn was coming to Eddie Hearn like Eddie Hearn was his fucking caregiver or something. The man told him he seen a house, so he comes and get the money. And he tells him, you're going to want another house soon. He tell him, nah. Then he comes back and tells him, yo, he seen another house. And the man helps him out again. And y'all yeah, he wanted him to buy his homes, pay his legal fees, take the bullets. You know what I'm saying? Put on the Kevlar, take all the shots while I'm out here, while you pushing for me to get fights. You dragging your reputation down the drain with it. And you paying me money. Nah, bro. That's wild, yo. I'm telling you, hey, yo, the interest alone, hey, Jordan, telling over $500,000. Imagine the interest on that if he'd have had interest on that. Yo, I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, man. Y'all bugging, man. Eddie did right by Conor. That's what it sounds like, man.
To defend our position, because I'm cool not talking about it. But I can't let him come out and me watch those interviews and go, what the fuck? So that is it. I've said my bit, and you can talk to him about it next week.
Hold on.
And I hope the media ask him the real questions instead of just saying he'll only do this interview if you ask this or if you put it that way.
Eddie on his helmet.
Let me ask you this.
Eddie ain't beat.
This whole situation about money being lent or whatever, right? Now, in my first interview with you in Nottingham at midnight when this all broke, etc., you mentioned about this, yeah? Now, this sort of stuff that we're talking about, would you really have preferred
in the home country,
is if
bro.
this was kind of stuff that wasn't out in the public and wasn't in the...
Of course. What makes it embarrassing? Like,
Because he's had to respond. He's had to respond, whichever way it's taken, to the original comments you made about lending him money, correct?
Yeah, but what he should have done was, yeah, he did lend me money. Yeah, he lent me money to buy a house. He backed me financially when I was in a terrible position, and I will always respect that. But you come out and go, fucking never lent me a cent. I don't owe them nothing. He said, I don't owe Matchroom nothing.
Yeah.
I don't know any fucking like. Listen, and you've got to separate this was a good deal for me and my family. I couldn't agree more, mate. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying after everything that and by the way, the other thing that he said.
Do y'all got y'all ears on? Do y'all not now hear why I was taking the stance that I'm taking with Eddie Hearn? Bro, this sound like morals and principles. You just don't move right. I looked you out. I held you down. And you got the nerve to get in the media. And it's not like nobody forced you to say these things. You just invited this information to the public and the media. That's why Eddie Hearn going in today. You win the interviews and say he ain't never helped you as if he was supposed to help you with your legal fees. That shit is crazy. The man buying homes for you and your family to live in. More than one. Hundreds of thousands of dollars, man. Get the hell out of here. Over $500,000, bro. And loans is wild. I don't care what you say. And you can say, oh, people do it all the time. But do people go and get deals and then spit in their promoter face after all of that help, though? Come on, man. That man, you was going to this dude like he was your personal caregiver or something.
And this is just a horrific, disgusting PR.
You gotta know, bro. You gotta know.
And then Gary never went, oh, did you talk to Eddie? He went, yeah, I sent him a nice message and, thanked him for everything. And that was when it was all undecided or up in the air. Bullshit. You sent me a message a minute before or a minute after. I can't remember which one it was. I'll have to check the lineup before the announcement. That's when you sent me a nice message. The other message you sent me was when I received a message from your lawyer, right? And then I said, mate, I've had this call. Like, me and you need to talk. Everything that I've done for you, I deserve a conversation. Bro. And he said, oh, it's very emotional at the moment. Let's catch up when it all dies down. So don't tell me you sent me a nice message, because you sent me that nice message when it was all done. And by the way, it was all done when your lawyer sent me the email, because you and certain people dressed up the offer so it can't be matched. And that shall come back on you all. So cut the bullshit, because I will lay the receipts time and time again, because we never did anything but go above and beyond at every level for you.
Yeah.
So I'm done. I've said my piece. I don't even want to keep talking about it anymore, but I'm watching these interviews, and I know it's a PR spin, and I know it's trying to get some kind of, or whatever they're trying to do, but it's
hey, Big Dre, you feel me, bro? That's all I was saying, bro. I wasn't trying to comfort people, but I'm like, I ain't saying Eddie is perfect, but I was just highlighting this specific situation and saying that's not how you look out for somebody that looked out for you. You sent them a message right before their announcement. He said he don't know if it was a minute before or a minute after. He said it was all over when your lawyer sent him the email. That's crazy. Yo, Dad, then you gonna go in the media like, man, he ain't never do nothing for me. Yeah, like, yo, Eddie pissed off, man. Shout out to Ocean Dream. How you feeling? Kind of move like this, mate. That you had loyal people out there like Bub was loyal to Top Rank, and all Bob did was dirt. Yeah, kicked dirt on Crawford's name, and it backfired on an Ocean Dreamer because Crawford ended up making more money, you know, making good money with Bob Arum and Top Rank, right? And then moving away from him and making the two biggest fights of his career without him and getting paid. So I agree 1,000,000%. Big dog, Ben family, always in some shenanigans. I'm telling you, Conor's going to resign with Zoof. I don't see any other promoter dealing with him. Hey, I want to know if this is going to be good for him or bad for him in the long run, right? Is it going to be good or bad, right? Is this going to be good money or bad money? We're going to find out. We sure will. Shout out to Sis Melanie Queen. How you feeling today? Always good to see you. Don't work too hard. I know you've been working. Conor gonna resign with Zuffa, man. But then it's like, who you gonna fight? Zuffa don't got 147-pound division. Zuffa is not in bed with the sanctioning bodies. They're not in lock and step, right? I want to see how they gonna finesse this. Or was Jao Pataya's situation just an isolated incident? Because if so, that's gonna look crazy. That's gonna create more of a rift if they treated him that way when he went to go fight, and then allow these dudes to keep their titles, that being Richardson, Hitchens, and or Ryan Garcia. If he was to fight him on Zuffa, it'd be crazy. I'm telling you, this shit is wild, man. Shout out to Eddie Hearn, man. Everybody in the building, hit the like button, y'all. I appreciate you, sis, man. I know you've been working, man. It's all shout out to
catastrophic, and it's a PR disaster. But unfortunately, I have to tell you the truth. So, you know,
Eddie, I mean, look, I watched the interview we done with Adam Cattrall on TalkSport.
Adam Cattrall can make Adam Cattrall. I'm sorry. I mean, listen, fair play to Adam Cattrall. He came out and he was like, "Oh, sorry, that was a terrible interview." But what do you expect? Adam Cattrall's like Dana White's PR spinner, right? So, unfortunately, Adam Cattrall has slagged Conor Benn off for 4 years, gets in front of him, and just asks the questions he's told he's allowed to ask. But you'll see next week. You guys have the responsibility. You can ask whatever you want. You ask me whatever you want. Ask him. But guess what? You won't be allowed.
The one fight deal with Zuffa, which hold on, let me ask. That's what we've been told.
Yeah.
One fight deal with Zuffa. So
big dog.
After the 11th, do you categorically rule out working with him?
Yes, because it ain't a one fight. Like, listen, all right, I'll just tell you. So you think I've got to be careful what I say because it's going to be a big issue on this. So
don't say it. Don't say whatever you're going to say.
No, I'm just going to say, use your brain. Anyone out there, use your brain. You think there've been no other conversations or agreements beyond a one fight deal to fight Regis Prograis over 10 rounds for $15 million. Regis Prograis, who shouldn't even be in the ring because he's that badly injured. Conor's getting 15 mil for a 10-round fight with no future at all. No, Conor, you can take this fight. If not, you can go elsewhere. Wake the fuck up. But that's all I'm saying, because the truth shall come to light.
My guys,
very soon.
There was a rumor last week that Regis Prograis was out that fight. I'm sure you saw it.
Everybody knows. Everybody knows about Regis Prograis. And
fight's on. I'm just saying there was a rumor.
I'm not going to discredit Regis Prograis or the fight. Everyone knows the situation. Well, but more importantly, Tune in live on the Zone. What a weekend of boxing.
Wait, hold on.
I've got to go to breakfast, mate. Get a flight.
I've got two. Is that what you're going for? Breakfast?
Breakfast and a flight.
I was going to wait for you till 4 o'clock in the morning. Like,
Come on, what do you want?
Questions. Right, quickly. What have you seen Ben Shalom's interviews this week?
Oh, I've seen Ben Shalom's
interviews. No, but what do you know about the situation with Sky? Because he's told us some things, but this Sky situation with Ben and him sounds really
mate, honestly, I have not watched any Ben Shalom interviews. I haven't even seen clips. Like, sometimes I go through Instagram and I'll see a clip of your interview. I haven't even seen that, let alone the interview. What did he say?
Well, there's just a situation going on with Sky Sports that he was talking about it, but obviously it looks like a messy situation. And I don't disbelieve for one second that you don't kind of know behind the scenes anything about this.
I know nothing behind the scenes. All I know is a couple of things. Number one, I saw an article, post from Boxing King Media saying Ben Shalom said you will not. This scandal is gonna rock British boxing. Oh, see, people are calling me for breakfast. And
who fuck's calling you for breakfast?
Hold on.
Go the other way.
There you go. Right, anyway.
We're nearly done.
And Ben Shalom said this is going to rock the world, blah, blah, blah. That's all I've said. I have no idea what he's talking about. Number two is, obviously, he's no longer with Sky Sports. I don't, they didn't renew his contract. Sky Sports now.
So look, man, that's at the tail end. He ain't got much more he said about that. I just wanted y'all to hear what he had to say, his thoughts on this whole situation. And it's going to be interesting to see just how on board he is. Was it because he just said in that clip that I played for y'all when he's talking to Mike Coppinger, oh, this is one fight deal. The interesting thing is where does you burning Eddie Hearn essentially, right, and going to make the one fight deal with Zuffa, where does that leave you? Because he just said he ain't looking to promote you no more. That's crazy. The one guy that was promoting you when your name wasn't even good in the boxing world, and that's the dude that you burn. I don't care what you say and how much money you seemingly made to fight Regis. This seemed like it was a smart move to do that. It just didn't seem like a very smart move, bro. It didn't seem like a very smart move to burn him to make the money. And it's crazy. It's crazy. That's how you know people got character flaws and they lack principles and morals, because it sounds like Eddie Hearn acknowledged that he understood why you took the deal. He good. That's a good deal. But damn, why you do me like that is what he's saying. Like, why leave me out in the cold? Why give me a text message and can't even give me a phone call a minute before, a minute after the announcement? It's crazy. So to go over there, you might be laughing to the bank. But again, you better hope you don't have to go crying back to the same dude that you went to in multiple different occasions for houses, and then you expected this dude in so many words to pay your legal fees. I mean, some shit deeper than money, man. And I don't know, man. Somebody going to bat for you the way Eddie Hearn did for Conor is just, that shit is unheard of. Big shout out to Big Drop Dre for that 5-piece. Saying some color in the chat, man. Much love, man. Hit the like button, support the grind. We're gonna rock out for some more. We got some more to get to before we get out of here. But yeah, I heard it. So he ain't been a fan of working with no more Keith Connolly fighters as well. Now I got a little 10-minute clip from Keith Connolly responding to, I guess in so many words, he's responding to Eddie Hearn. And y'all know my guy Elda let me know that Tiafimo is no longer listed on the Top Rank website. So it's a good chance that he could be a free agent. And I don't know where he gonna end up at, but I guess it won't be with Eddie Hearn, being that he won't work with none of his fighters. That's what he says. So let's just get to this, man. Let's get to it, man. It's been a lot. So like I said, Conor Benn could have handled that situation better. I think he could have informed the one guy that held his back, rain, hail, sleet, snow. And the fact that he stuck it to him in that way and kind of try to justify it because he didn't pay his legal fees is nasty work. He wasn't supposed to pay your legal fees. You was going to him like he was some type of pimp of yours or something like that. No funny shit. So that just seemed crazy to me, man. Yeah, and it seemed like they say there ain't gonna be no coming back for him. I cannot. The Butcher, man. Hey Butcher, Butcher, you still in here? You to do something real quick, bro.
Lewis Art for The Ring magazine. Delighted today to be joined with Keith Connolly here after Conor Benn's victory over Regis Prograis on the chief support to Tyson Fury, Arsenal McMahon in Tottenham Hotspur. Keith, appreciate the time. What did you make of Conor's performance today?
I thought it was a great performance. We were in there with a two-time former world champion, rugged guy, never been knocked out. You saw why he's never been knocked out. He took some big punishment from Conor to the body, to the head, but he hung in there. I thought it was a dominant win for Conor. I thought he won every single round. Maybe he lost one round when he got the second cut, which was pretty bad. He needed to adjust and clear his head and get back to the corner and let the cut man work on it before he went back to work. But I thought it was a dominating performance.
Yeah.
And this is Keith Connolly, by the way. This is the guy that manages Edgar Berlanga, Richardson Hitchens, Teofimo Lopez. I'm pretty sure he got more fighters, but those are three of the most recognizable names. And this is the guy that Eddie Hearn is basically saying he's not willing to work with him or none of his fighters no more because of how the Berlanga shit turned out for him, Hitchens, and then Conor Benn. I think that was the straw that broke the camel's back. And I think he just like the hell with it. Keith got Alicia too.
Do you feel like there was pressure on him,
Shout out
like
to Reed.
fans, especially go the distance when they see him go the distance, something like Prograis?
I hear he do right by his fighters, though.
Did you feel like there was pressure on his performance tonight, given, I guess, the last sort of few months or so?
Well, there's always pressure on these fighters, especially when you're fighting in front of 50, 60,000 people and you're on Netflix with 10 to 20 million people watching you. And Conor is a star. He's a global star now. So there's always going to be pressure on a guy like him, and he's going to put a lot of pressure on himself because that's the type of person he is. But again, I thought he performed great. I thought he really beat up Prograis. But again, Prograis a tough former world champion. Yeah. And he showed you why he was a champion or a former world champion. And he showed you why he's never been knocked out. He's a tough character. He's a crafty guy. And he took a lot of punishment from Conor. I give him all the credit in the world.
Yeah. Was you surprised by how crafty he was in there? Like, Conor admitted it. Like, was you surprised?
I was. Honestly, I didn't think he was going to be able to take those punches from Conor, so I was very impressed with how crafty he was, but also the type of chin he had and the type of shots he took to the body. I mean, there was a couple times where he was really hurt, but he was able to regroup and make it through the fight.
Yeah. Ryan Garcia called him out after the fight. For you, is that like the likely next option, especially with his WBC position?
Well, that's the fight Conor wants. He's always wanted the WBC title, and of course, we want the mega fights. That's what Conor's in it for, and that's what my job is to do, to deliver the big fights for Conor, and I'll start working on that next week.
Yeah. Well, obviously, a major pressing topic in the build-up of this fight was the move to Zuffa Boxing. I guess from your end, like, sort of how did it come about and the move to Zuffa? And I guess what stands now of it potentially being, like, obviously a one-fight deal?
Well, I mean, next week I'm going to get back to work. I know there was a lot of noise in the past. I don't want to get into all the back and forth that's been in the press. That's not my job. My job is to work for Conor Benn and to get him the best possible deal as possible, the best fight. So that's all in the past right now. I'm ready to look forward, and I'll be on the phone Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday with networks, with Ryan Garcia's people, and all the interested parties that can make the fight.
Yeah.
See? So remember, I just asked the question earlier. That's why I played these videos the way I did. It makes sense. They connect with each other. You hear what he's saying. He kind of answered the question that I had earlier. Like, what is the move going to be now that he had the one fight deal with Zuffa? He claiming it's just one fight. No, he's not going to Eddie Hearn. Now he's saying he'll be back on the phone with the networks trying to see who's going to be willing to make the fight with him and Ryan Garcia. But I told y'all this is the kind of situation that he's going to be in. But the thing that might save him is the fact that he can sell tickets. His name is buzzing more than it ever has been. And Ryan Garcia can make money. They put them two together. It might work. Maybe Turkey might be interested in putting on that fight for Ryan because he did say something about still promoting Ryan Garcia. So we'll see. Shout out to Big Dog Willie. Appreciate the love in the super chat. He said just too pissed off. Said just too pissed off the Maniacs. He said if a Tangy Maniacs root for a fighter, it's bad luck. Boots and Mason are in danger of losing their next fight. You a fool. Big shout out to Big Dog Willie, man. Appreciate that love. Yeah, Keith Connolly is on. Oh yeah, this Keith Connolly, Cal. This is the guy that manages Conor. Reef just said Bumgarner, T.O., Berlanga, Hitchens, and probably some more people, I'm pretty sure. But let's see. I guess it's going to be his job to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm pretty sure it probably was him. He could have advised Conor Benn to go take the one fight deal, which, You know, for your family, it seemed like it make all the sense in the world. But career-wise, let's see if this ended up burning them or putting them in a worse situation for the foreseeable future in terms of making fights. But maybe this Ryan Garcia one might save him. But not if he don't win. He's going to be in bad shape if he don't win. Yeah, that's what they saying.
The preferred option be Zuffa for a multi-deal, would you say?
Well, I mean, they were great to us. They gave us a tremendous deal. Nothing bad to say about them. In fact, I have everything good to say about them. Zuffa, Dana White, Netflix, and of course, my good friend Nick Khan. Nick Khan is obviously a legendary business executive, but more important, he's a great human being. He's fair, and like I said, we did great business with them. We will sit down with them, but we'll also see what's out there, right? Conor's a free agent. It was a one-fight deal, but the target will be to fight Ryan Garcia. Yeah. And again, everything else is in the past and looking to move forward.
Yeah. Keith, whilst I've interviewed, I'd be silly not to ask you about Eddie Hearn. He's made numerous comments about yourself on interviews for the past few months. Obviously started, I don't know, I guess when it started, but obviously he was upset after the Richardson-Hitchin fight against George Kambosos. And he's been even more upset after the Conor Benn fight. Said a lot about yourself, about, you know, I don't want to sort of name call, but he name calling as well. I guess what have you made of it, and I guess the relationship between yourself and Eddie Hearn?
Well, listen, I've known Eddie Hearn for 8 years. We've done a lot of good business. Of course, we're on opposite sides of the business table, so we're going to go at each other's throats every once in a while. And he said some negative things about me. I'm not going to say anything negative about him. I'm not looking to go below the belt, you know, play in the mud right now. Obviously, there were things that promoters do to managers do to promoters, because they're looking to get the best deal for themselves. That's just the business. That's the reality. So I'm not looking to be negative, say anything bad about Eddie Hearn. He's done a great job for boxing, and it's just an unfortunate incident. And there's always a way back in things, especially in boxing. There's always a way to get back together. But I'm not going to sit here and go back and forth. That's just not the type of person I am. I think everybody knows me. I take care of my business privately, and I take care of my problems privately. Yeah. So we can always sit down and hash things out. And if he doesn't want to do that, that's fine too. I'm just going to continue to make deals for my guys with promoters and directly with networks as well.
Yeah. But
hey, so look, at the end of the day, it seems like he managing, he doing his job. He ain't going off on Eddie. Eddie didn't go in on him. Like, he just saying he think these dudes is getting bad advice, and as a reality, they costing themselves money. I mean, in the case of Richardson-Hitchens, everybody is questioning what's next for him and like how this move gonna work out. So yeah, man, he is right. I mean, in boxing, shit can be hashed out. You could sit down, business could be done, especially if it makes sense. People will put their pride and ego to the side to make the business, as long as it makes sense. But again, Edgar Berlanga, Richardson Hitchens, Conor Benn, right? Not the most, you know, Hitchens is the most skillful, but not a Edgar Berlanga, not a Conor Benn. So things could work out differently for them based on the talent that they actually do possess, right? Like, they're not top tier talents. Neither one of those dudes is world champions. In fact, those are two fighters that guys don't really think that highly of and don't feel like they're going to win a world title. So I don't know, but I respect Keith. Look, I handle my problems private. I ain't going to go back and forth. I ain't going to tongue wrestle with him. I'm just going, you know, I'll try to make it work, sit down with him. I'm willing to do that. If he ain't willing to, that's okay. I'll move on. I'll continue to talk with these other networks and see and make deals for my guys. He's saying all the stuff that he's supposed to say, that if you a fighter of his and you listening to this, he kind of putting you at ease, letting you know, look, the buck just don't stop with Eddie Hearn. So it's not the end of the world, but I'm saying you don't want to burn bridges, especially when somebody had your back. Like it seemed like Eddie Hearn had Berlanga's when he's with him for the little stint, Richardson Hitchens, and Conor Benn. You know what I'm saying? So that's all. You don't got to burn bridges just to make deals for yourself.
Is a relationship between yourself and him, and he said specifically the zone as well, is that dead, would you say?
No, I don't believe that at all. I just did a deal for Filip Hrgović, who was a free agent, to fight on DAZN. So, I mean, listen, I'm not going to get into all that. I have made deals directly with networks. I believe I could still do that with my big name fighters with any network out there. That's not going to be my concern. But again, I don't like to look in the rearview mirror. I'm always looking ahead to see what the next move is. And if he wants to do business with me in the future, or if I want to do business with him. It works both ways, by the way. If it makes sense for both of us, we'll sit down and do it. But again,
Told you.
I have to do what's best for my.
End of the day, that's what his job is. His job is not to worry about the loyalty that the fighters have with the promoters, I'm guessing, but to make sure his clients make the best money possible and make the biggest fights. And as long as he doing that, he doing right by the fighters. But in the process, I think just in the natural order of things, why signals could get crossed, lines could get crossed, and people could end up falling out and not be willing to do business or go back and revisit things like this. But we'll see. It's very early. But we seeing like all this shuffling dudes to Zuffa, man. I can't wait to see how this experiment unfolds.
My guys, and that's get the best matchups, make the most money, and I'm not out here to hurt anybody, to talk badly about them, but it's an unfortunate situation. But like I said, in boxing, there's always a way back, and we'll see what happens in the future. But I have nothing negative to say about anybody.
I respect it. He taking a high road, being a professional. Like, look, this ain't gonna get nothing done anyway. Me trying to go back and forth with a bunch of stuff to say. So look, I'm gonna just stay in my lane. I'm gonna keep making deals for my fighters, and I respect it. He ain't trying to hurt nobody. At the end of the day, to me, what he sound like, his message is just business, and I'm doing my job. My job is to put my fighters in the biggest and best fights possible with the most money. You know what I'm saying? So if it makes sense and make business sense, we're gonna do it. And I think if Eddie Hearns to ever go back on what he said as far as working with him and any of his fighters, it'll be because it made good business sense, and they'll have to do it, right? They'll have more of an incentive to sit down and do business. But let's see, because egos are a fragile thing in boxing, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just looking to move forward here, and you'll see some big things and some big deals coming out from my guys.
Teofimo Lopez was there tonight as well. What is the status of him in Top Rank? Can you confirm if he's a free agent or not? I guess, what's the deal with Teo and his deal with Top Rank?
Well, right now we control Teo's career. Myself, Teo, co-manager Mike Barreo, and Teofimo Sr., his trainer / manager as well. No? The management team and Teo, we control his career. We make the decisions. Top Rank did a great job with Teofimo Lopez. Again, they built him up. They did great things. There's a lot of great people over at that company. And again, that's another company I'm sure I'll do business with in the future. But as of right now, Teo runs his career, and we'll be probably making a decision in the next few weeks about what his next move is.
Yeah, okay.
So it sounds like that's up in the air. He said, well, he ain't include Top Rank. He said, we control Teo's career, me, Teo, and he didn't include Top Rank. So it seemed like he about to be finding a new home too. We gonna see, because he's talking. It's crazy because he's talking about fighting Ryan. Ryan talking about fighting Conor. Conor talking about fighting Ryan too. And he's talking about getting on the phone trying to make the fight with Conor and Ryan as well. So seem like Teofimo might be left out in the cold. Somebody ain't no way both of your guys gonna get Ryan Garcia, both Conor and Teo. It's gonna be one or the other, and it's probably gonna be Conor because that's the more winnable fight in my opinion. Lining up what promoters can he work with, or on behalf of Conor, Top Rank, Golden with PBC, you could take them off the table. Maybe another UK promoter. It's gonna get dicey, I think, Kyle. He gonna really have to earn his money. I think the next deal he strike for Conor, in my opinion. And I'm pretty sure he don't have a problem with it, but I'm with you. It makes me wonder, like, who gonna be really willing to sign him? You know what I'm saying? We'll see.
I wanted to ask about Edgar Berlanga and Richardson Hitchens as well. Obviously, Hitchens had the unfortunate incident of pulling out on the day of the Oscar Duarte fight. I guess sort of the noise since then, I guess the decision for him to end up signing the Zuffa. I guess talk me through it.
One had nothing to do with the other. Yeah. There's a lot of false narratives on Twitter that he pulled out because he was signing with Zuffa. I mean, that's total BS. Yeah. I mean, the kid had a 10 or 12-week training camp. He had the best training camp of his life. I think the week before the fight, he had one session where he did 19 4-minute rounds in sparring. He made weight, and then he made weight Saturday morning. Then he ate and he got sick. Did he get sick from the food? Maybe. Did he get sick from losing all the weight? Maybe. We're not doctors. It's impossible to know why he vomited, but he vomited several times on fight day, and we made the decision that He just wasn't well enough to fight. But he was pumped up. He was a 5-1 favorite. He was actually, during fight week, predicting he was going to knock out Duarte. He said, I'm going to go for the knockout. So there was no fear. That whole narrative that he pulled out because he was scared was ridiculous, because when Duarte's name was brought up to us, he said, get me that guy. He said yes immediately. So, but again, it's to be expected. Twitter, there's always false narratives out there. You never get the real story. And that's great because, you have people talking, I guess, right? And it causes controversy, but very few times will we get the truth from Twitter.
Will he be staying at 140?
And that's the fact, Keith. Shout out to Keith, man. That's a fact. Boxing Twitter is not where you go where you want the real news. Now, you could trust certain platforms and pages, but for the most part, you just can't just wander up there and get the real, man, because people going to mislead you, lie, manipulate the truth. They do a lot of BS. Bro, I seen that too, Reef, and they already dissing Bud. See, Bud, sellout. Bud is seed, it's Bud. I'm just like, bro, y'all believe anything, man. Y'all just believe anything. Anything, bro. Man, yo, he say he got Bud and core nutritionist, but I don't think he gonna be Bud ain't gonna be his main sparring partner. I doubt it.
With his IBF?
Well, he has the purse bid coming up for Delgado. We're talking directly with Top Rank, trying to make a deal with them. We'll see if we can make a deal or if it goes to purse bid. We also have plans to do a big fight, actually, at 147 later this year, hopefully on a ring card. I mean, that's the plan. So there's two different thought processes. Does he move up now and get one fight in at 147 to get acclimated to the weight and then do the big fight at 147, or defend his title at 140? We'll see how negotiations go with Top Rank, and we'll see what happens here in the next 2 weeks.
The final question from myself. Alicia Baumgartner returns next week against Bomi Ray Shin. Caroline Dubois was pretty quick to call her out and say a lot of things about her. From your view, is there a view to make that fight with Alicia and Caroline?
Well, there's always a way to make a fight, right? If that's going to be next, I'm not sure. She wants Amanda Serrano or Katie Taylor next. I think Amanda Serrano is the most likely big fight that she could get. But again, I'm the type of manager that I don't like to look behind, look backwards, but I also don't want to look ahead. I want her to get past next Friday. She's in with a tough opponent, even though a lot of people don't really know a lot about her. She's a very tough opponent. And then after that, we'll all sit down, myself, Sam, her lawyer, / co-manager, Alicia, MVP. But she's looking to get big fights. I mean, she hasn't gotten the big fight, not because of her. People haven't wanted to fight Alicia, and she wants Serrano and Katie Taylor. But I'm sure the Caroline Dubois fight will happen at some point in time. But personally, from a financial perspective and a business perspective, you want to build that fight up a little bit more, because it'll be worth more down the road. It's not that she's worried about beating her, or it's not that she won't beat her. It's that it has to make financial sense, and that will be a big fight at some time. I just think that's probably 1.5 to 2 years away before it's really, really big.
Brilliant.
The only thing I could say that's reasonable. That sound like it makes sense. But my only pushback to that would be, what kind of financial sense do it make to fight somebody that Caroline Dubois already beat? Do you get what I'm saying? Or is it like one of them situations where they know the fight with Caroline, because of the talent and who she is, they can build that up where it'd be a bigger fight than if she was to just take it now. Maybe that's exactly what he's saying, and I can respect that. Trying to understand, I don't have all the answers, but I'm trying to listen to somebody that's responsible for putting fights together, so he would know. And what he's saying sound real reasonable, bro. Not only is it a risk, it's a risk, but if it's a chance that that fight could be built a little bit more and then made, then cool. But like I said, it kind of, the only pushback is, well, if that's the case, why would she? What financial sense do it make for her to fight somebody that Caroline Dubois already beat, right? Like, what kind of real money is in that? Right? Is it crazy money in that? Is it more money in fighting a former opponent of Caroline Dubois than fighting Caroline Dubois? Those are just questions I would have, right? I'm curious to know. But a little paranoid when I hear build a fight up, because we know in the past, sometimes they build fights up till they just don't get made, right? They over marinated. So that's all. We got a little PTSD from fights getting over marinated and them not pulling the trigger. So I hate sometimes when it seems like, because she's a unified champion right now. Why wouldn't the fight make good money now? Like, who is it that she's going to come along and beat where all of a sudden that fight is bigger That's what I would want to know. I'm just curious to know. I just have questions. Like, as a fan, I would like to know, like, you get me? Because she is a unified champion that we talking about, right? She just beat Terry Harper, the last girl that Alicia Baumgartner stopped. So I'm curious to know. But I respect what he's saying because he in the business. He would know. And I don't think he making an excuse. I think he believes in the fighters that he promote or that he managed.
Keith, appreciate the time as always. No, don't do many interviews, so I do appreciate the time as always. And I'm sure it won't be so long since we're catching up sometime. Thank you. Cheers.
Man, shout out to Keith Conley, man. I respect people that give, the boxing platforms their time to speak their truth. That's why I don't try to sit up and just disagree and overly grill what he's saying. He in the business, he wouldn't know, but I get it. I just hope that they don't spend too much time building the fight to the point where they don't actually make it happen. Right. I would absolutely hate to see that for them. You know what I'm saying? I would absolutely hate to see that for them ladies. Because look, Caroline Dubois look like she ready now. This whole she a pup and we got to build it up. That sound like a bit of a cop out from the fighter saying that. Like, I ain't trying to hear that shit because you literally about to fight somebody that she beat and that is not a unified champion. So it could be tricky, but I understand what Keith's saying. It is reasonable to say that. I'm going to play this quick clip from Conor Benn. This was what Eddie Hearn was responding to. Conor Benn saying this stuff. And then I got a clip from T.O.
He didn't let me a cent.
Are you fucking taking the piss? Don't sit there and say, I never lent you money. I lent you 550 grand. One, to buy a house, and two, because you were banging trouble and I never called it in. And I gave you 3 years to pay that money back. And I went above and beyond for you at every single level. Emotionally, mentally, financially. I never, ever stopped having your back through that whole time since you were 18 years old. So don't sit there and lie and say, I never lent you a cent. I can't let him come out and me watch those interviews and go, what the fuck?
Eddie, I really believe Eddie. I ain't gonna hold you. I believe him. I really do. I really do. I don't think nobody that would had his back the way he had his back has any incentive to have to lie. I think it's just pointless to do it. You know what I'm saying? I do think he tried to look out and do what was best for his guy and end up biting him in his ass a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Bit him in his ass. Now he feeling like he don't ever want to work with Conor again. So whether or not that will affect him long term, we'll find out. But cool fight, but he ain't beating Ryan if they fought next, in my opinion.
In London, great to have you over across the pond, Tio. How's things? How have you been?
Oh my goodness, things have been great, phenomenal, really, and I'm excited to see tonight this event overall, and what other way than seeing Conor Benn back in it. I'm so excited.
I wanted to ask you about Conor Benn. Obviously, he's making his way down, obviously, at 150 this fight, taking on Regis Prograis. I guess, what's your view on the fight against Regis?
Well, my view on Regis for Conor Benn, I think it's a startup to see how he is ever since his fight with Eubank, now coming back down, and it's not a walk in the park for Conor Benn. So I look forward to a good bloodbath, so to speak.
How do you think he deals with coming down in weight yourself? Let's say the lightweight days, like I'm sure you know what it's like. And
well, a lot of people have criticized the way he's looked, this whole fight week occurring, his weight, he slimmed down a lot, but of course you're going to see that when a guy is fighting at 160 and up, so to see that come down to Conor Benn, and he said it though, early in the morning, he mentioned that, I could have made 147. So obviously the weight was good for him. Look forward to see how he performs tonight.
You selfishly got one eye on Conor Benn as well?
You know what? I'm going to 147. He's coming down to 147. If the odds are there, we'll make it happen.
How's life been since the Shakur Stevenson fight?
Man, it's been great. Overall, it's been phenomenal. I've been enjoying myself and just, working on many projects. Why not?
Has it been hard to deal with, would you say, or the Shakur fight?
No, not at all. I'm excited for him. Much success for him. You can't win them all, right? Yeah. So my whole thing is really just coming back and showing everyone the true performer I am. 147, I think it's gonna welcome me very good.
A lot of people talking about a Ryan Garcia fight for yourself. What can you say about the Ryan Garcia fight? Has there been talks for it, I guess?
There's been talks for sure, but that's the thing, if Shakur and these other guys don't want to take up the risk we're willing to do and step up to the plate. That's what we're all about. Why we talk about make boxing great again is for that reason. And yeah, you never know. Maybe in the summer.
Yeah, final one for myself. You're going to fight in London one day?
Hey, I always said this, Mike Kirkland, a good ass whooping could humble you. A good boxing lesson could really humble you as a person. This humble version of T.O., just talking about taking challenges, this is the guy we could get behind 100% and support. He ain't none of the antics, saying none of the off-the-wall shit, none of the disrespect, just pushing boxing and standing on business, taking on challenges, making the fights. I'm cool with that. But Conor Benn might beat you to that Ryan fight.
I would love to. I would love to fight here in London. I would love to just showcase my skills. I mean, the London fan base never competes to anyone else. No one could compete with them, honestly. So it will be a big honor and a privilege.
Yeah. Brilliant. T.O., appreciate the time, mate. Thank you.
Shout out to T.O. So he just spoke briefly on that. I just wanted to play that. He spoke about fighting Ryan Garcia too, but like I said, it seemed like Conor Benn gonna beat him to it. They both good fights to me. I'll watch them either one. I think Conor Benn, he's not a boring fighter. He's not a bad fighter to watch, but I don't think he's on that championship level. I think if he get in the ring with Ryan, I think Ryan would dust him off. I feel like Tio and Ryan is a more competitive fight than Conor and Ryan. You know what I'm saying? I really think Ryan could catch Conor and stop him. I do. I don't believe in Conor's defense and his ability to get out of the way. And we all see how he look when he can't get rid of you. I know Ryan got the speed advantage, man. It might be an issue for Conor Benn. I could see him trying to having some moments, having success, but I could also see Ryan clipping him, catching him, and stopping him. I really could. It's not none of these fights are gonna be easy for Conor Benn. So his eyes sound like it's set on a title. And look, I ain't knocking him. Go get your title. If you can get a title, go get one. But it's not going to be easy going through Ryan. I think that's going to be a tricky fight for him. I think Ryan is a little bit better off than what people give him credit for. And as a result, that fight is going to show it. That fight is show it, man. I don't think Conor Benn is a better fighter than Ryan Garcia. I think the fight will show it. It was a WBC belt for his father, right? And he's going to have to go through the fire a little bit to get it. You know what I mean? Good thing for him. Good thing for him that it's in a division that ain't the strongest, but what's his chance? What's his best chance at winning? You know what I'm saying? Is Ryan able to duplicate his most recent performance? Long night, possibly short for Conor. Yeah. And I think the reason I think he possibly could, and possibly, keyword possibly, because you never know with Ryan, is because I think he is motivated at the fact that he has a title. He got something extra to fight for, a little extra bit of motivation. You better not go out there after fighting Devin Haney the way you did. You got in the ring with Tank Roley. Then you let Conor Benn snatch the title up off you. So that is a fair question. Sim from Pets. AOG Conor Benn is a sorry-ass fighter who's the weakest ranked fighter that Conor Benn can beat and can stop Benn. Look, I think this. Focus Ryan is frying Conor. I think he might stop him too. I think this. I'll get you Sim from Pet. I think Conor Benn is a guy. He didn't pick up boxing like most people did as a kid. I don't think he was a little bit a later bloomer. I believe he is the son of a father that's considered a legend to a degree, right? Especially over there in the UK. You know what I mean? He got that last name, but I do believe Conor Benn is a dude that worked extremely hard. But since the eggs, I'm a little bit confused by why he looks so much different. You get what I'm saying? Before that situation, he looks very different. In every single fight, he's not getting rid of guys. His punching power don't seem to be like affecting dudes. And it's not like his level of competition is up significantly to the point where it could justify the lack of knockouts. That's not the case. They literally try to throw him an alley-oop with Regis, and they try to get Regis, you know what I mean? Try to pay Regis a bag to get knocked out by Conor, but Regis wasn't going. And he was hurt. Regis was hurt. I heard he had like 4 injuries: jaw, rib, knee, all type of shit. Like, nah, bro. Regis was hurt like that. I didn't know he was hurt like that, bro. He confirmed it. Regis was hurt like that, and that's the best you could have did. Nah, bro. You don't beat Ryan. You don't beat T.O. You don't beat none of the champions right now, in my opinion. You have a tough time with Lewis Crocker as well. Ryan might stop you. Mention Devin name here. I'll box you. Shakur don't go nowhere near him. You out here outboxing people now. Shakur done found out that you out here outboxing people. Now you got to box people because you ain't knocking them out. You better not go nowhere near him. That's going to be an embarrassing loss for you. He going to beat you up. Don't do it. Stay far away from him, bro. Don't even bother him, bro. Don't even do it. Don't even bother him. Just stick to what you know. You get me? Stick to what you know. So it's going to be fun to see, man, with Keith Connolly, if he can work his magic with Eddie Hearn seemingly not wanting to work with him anymore at any of his fighters. Good thing for him. He got a positive attitude. And I'm pretty sure he got good working relationships with the other networks and promoters. So maybe he can finesse the situation for his fighters that make sense. The guys like the Conor Benns, the Richardson Hitchens, the Edgar Berlangas, and so on. Teofimo Lopez's, you know what I'm saying? Maybe it's a chance that they're going to all be just fine when it's all said and done. But shout out to everybody, man. That's my time for today. Salute to the fan. Rocking out with me. If you ain't hit the like button, make sure you do. If you ain't share or hype the live, make sure that you do. If your notifications ain't on, make sure they are. Sub to the channel. Another dope build in the books for the people. Appreciate you, baby. Appreciate everybody rocking out. Shout out to everybody. Super chat, cash out. We appreciate y'all support. Another build of boxing. We gave boxing is just due. No boxing slander. Boxing dad, what it do? Staniona stops Ben as well. Staniona's gonna be pissed down Ben leg sent from Pat. In my opinion, I just think those upper echelon guys beat him. And I think the reason that he's been moved the way he's been moved is because Eddie Hearn knows his talent level, right? And it's not all to his fault. I think Conor Benn works extremely hard. He look like he kill it in the gym. Look like he go in the gym and absolutely kill it, right? But again, the jury is going to be out on him, and it looks funny that he doesn't look like he doesn't fight with the same intensity before the WBC egg situation, the PED scandal, whatever you want to call it. And now you done stuck it to your longtime promoter and Eddie Hearn to make $15 million to fight Regis. And that might be more than one fight. We never know. So we'll find out in due time. But other than that, we just gave boxing is just due. Shout out to my bro Zoom Boxing Dad. What up? And peace to the sis Melon Queen. I appreciate you. Everybody hit the like button on the way out. Support the grind. And we'll be back tomorrow, 4 p.m. to build on this boxing. So with that, we're going to get up out of here. Y'all, peace to the fan.